What is happening, Alpha Team? Everybody out there in the cyberspace, how y'all doing? It is DJ AlphaTyler, and we are back again with another episode of Around the Music with my man Kelvin J. If y'all don't know Kelvin J, y'all been sleeping under a rock. Kelvin J, one of the MAGA boys. If you don't know the MAGA boys, if you don't know Bryson Gray, Tyson James, Kelvin J, man, the boys, I found them. I found y'all I checked out your track like a year ago, almost. Like that thing dropped. It's been a minute now.
Yeah. MAGA Boys, I think, came out around the beginning, almost the beginning of last year. Not the beginning, but like around summer.
Yeah.
May, something like that.
Yeah. Well, if y'all haven't checked these guys out, man, they all bringing heat. Kelvin, though, I remember when I heard that first track, because I kind of already knew Bryson before I checked out MAGA Boys. I didn't know Tyson that well, but I got to know Tyson, and but when I was listening to the song, like Kelvin's verse just spoke to me. I'm like, first of all, who is this dude? He coming super smooth, coming with that swag.
Thank you.
You really came out of there with that lean back swag. You know what I'm saying? Like
that.
Hey, I've said it every time I've talked about that track. I'm saying it again right now. And y'all just kill it. Let me check who all hanging out with us. We got my boy Jason JV in the chat. We got Brenda Spencer. We got Jiminator J, CJ Holiday, another reaction channel. If you haven't checked out Kelvin J, you need to, brother. And then we got Luana. What up, Jesus? How you doing? Tell your man that Kelvin J said, hey. We got all kinds up in the house, and we only gonna grow. So
we got Mises' wife.
Oh yeah.
Mises' wife, welcome.
We were actually just talking about Mises right before this too. He saw my hat and he was like, Mises? I'm like, yeah, you like Mises? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, so we were already kind of getting around in that a little bit. So it's funny you show up right here. Let's see here. We got Tater Monkey. We got Gabe. Jiminator J. Look at that. Jiminator wants to ask you a question. Jiminator ready to ask you a question before we even get running right here. Jiminator saying, what inspires you to keep pushing through doubt and self-denial? You ain't even going to let us open up, man. Come on. Okay.
That's the question. You want me to go ahead and answer that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. What inspires you to keep pushing through doubt and self-denial? The doubt. Is there really doubt and self-denial though? Is that really happening? I don't know if I'm having the doubt and the self-denial part. I walk each day as it comes. I walk each minute as it comes, each second as it comes. I try not to predict it in a sense. Like of course you plan things out short term. But as far as long term, I just handle things as they come, and what's in front of me, I take care of it, at that moment while it's happening. And throughout that whole process, I, ensure that I'm, staying focused on God and allowing God to lead me, God willing, in the righteous way.
Right on.
And not falling into temptation. Ooh.
No. I felt like that was going to be your answer. I'm not going to lie. I knew when I saw that question right there. I'm like, we were just talking about some things right before we went live, talking about PTSD and all that stuff. And Kelvin already laid that to me. He's like, there ain't no PTSD with God. And I'm like, God bless. Right there. Like,
it's not. I used to have PTSD. And as soon as God woke me up, like, I mean, obviously I didn't track the days, but within days to weeks, it just fades away. It just fades off, and you don't get caught up in those thoughts anymore. You gain more control through Christ of captivating those thoughts and captivating the thoughts that triggers PTSD.
Absolutely.
When you're spazzing out or whatever your situation may be.
Absolutely. No, I feel that. I see right here, and this is actually where I was going to start us off anyway, because we were talking about that a minute ago. Tater said she loves that hat, Kelvin. And
yeah.
I think this is the first time, actually, for the record, that I've seen you without a red hat on. I've seen you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I have my other MAGA hat, but I was like, let's do a little Uncle Tom today.
Yeah, I think you're usually wearing the fisherman hat. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's been like my winter rock out hat mostly. Now that it's getting a little warmer,
yeah,
getting back to more snapbacks and stuff.
All right. Talking about that, and I gotta tell you too, you said you're getting back to snapbacks. I can't wear a snapback, man. My head is too big. I realized I put one on the other day, and luckily this one's a flex fit. I ain't gonna take my hat off because my hair, it is what it is. But
I'm a bald guy too. I know how it goes.
I'm not bald because I'm not willing to concede defeat yet to my
You're
hair.
balding.
I'm balding. Yeah, man.
Balding. I had to get on one of my friends about that. I'm like, hey man, you gotta just let it go.
Gotta be a grown man and just own it. Yeah.
You gotta just let it go, man. Just shave it all off.
Man, I feel that. Like I'm looking at that in a minute, but I put on a flex fit the other day, and like I realized my head is so big, like it's on like that last little peg right there, just like holding on to that last little piece, like for dear life. And I'm sitting there talking to my wife, and like my mouth shut at one point, and like my this part flexed and everything, and then like it just pops, and I'm like, God, but like I can't even wear a snapback anymore.
They don't make like larger ones.
They do, man. I buy the biggest ones. I mean, gosh. Like it's rough. But anyway, let's talk about your hat. Let's talk about the Uncle Tom hat, because we were talking a minute ago, and I think that's what you said. Like you've been working on the most right now is that Uncle Tom Part 2 documentary, right?
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily working on the documentary, but the producer Justin, and I'm not sure how much involvement Larry Elder's putting into this one. I mean, I'm assuming the same as the first one, but we're working on the music. We're getting the music together, and we're taking the scores from Part 1. So anyone who saw the movie Uncle Tom Part 1, we're taking the scores from that, and we're converting them into hip hop type beats, and we're looking to make some powerful music. So we'll see how that outcome comes out. I don't want to go too deep into it because everything's not finished and set in stone yet, and it's always best to get things finished before really pushing it out there to the world. But just a little secret, it's supposed to be Bryson Gray supposed to be on it, myself, and I'm not sure who else. So just something to look forward to, might be coming out in the future.
Right on. So for any of you guys that don't know the documentary, me and Kelvin were talking about it a minute ago, and I hadn't actually heard of it until he was telling me about it. So I guess it's a documentary series that follows like Black conservatives in America, kind of follows that history and everything. And that here's where I stand on stuff like that. Like to me personally, I think it's a shame that we need to have a documentary about that. You know what I mean? It's like talking about like, when we break things down, and I know you and I have discussed this before. I know that you've talked about it pretty extensively, but in my mind, like when it comes to like the race issue and everything, all we're doing anymore, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad that it exists. So I'm not saying like take it away, but I'm saying like the fact that we as a society have this mindset where it needs to exist, where it needs to be about, like, because you're Black, you're locked into this box. Because you're Black, you being a conservative is a taboo thing. Like that's a shame to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. It's unfortunate we've gotten where we've gotten, especially with the Black community. And it's interesting given, to my knowledge, the fact that the Republican Party and conservatives were, built from Blacks and whites.
Yeah.
Whereas the Democrats were built from all whites. But now today we have, a lot of Black people dominantly in the Black community are, against conservatism and against the Republican Party, which was built for Black people to include Black people,
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but we're breaking down the shackles. And thanks to Bryson Gray, we got this new genre, whether you want to call it MAGA rap or Christian conservative hip hop or conservative hip hop or whatever you want to call it. We got this new genre of music reaching people in a fun, uplifting way, and spreading the gospel as well as just spreading many truths of conservatism and how to be a patriot and live, one of the greatest ways we know how to live as a collective on this planet.
Well, I think that is a huge thing. I mean, I think going back, like I always liked hip hop. And one of the things, like listening to the Ludacris, listening to Jay-Z, you know, who I was listening to when I was younger and stuff like that, like you ain't hearing a ton of conservative messages and stuff like that. And so that is one thing. I think Bryson maybe was the first, like I said, I don't like using the phrase, but I mean the first black rapper that was bringing like a conservative message. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
I don't like going there because genuinely to me, like I don't even think about that stuff. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
listening to music and it's like
I understand you don't want to bring it up, but you know, we have to use those words at certain times because we're still, you know, phasing out of that mindset as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like me and you, we're past that. We can go live in a village with people like us.
Yeah.
We don't ever have to bring it up, you know. But when we live in a society with, you know, millions of other people who constantly use this language on a daily basis, you know, we have to speak their language until we can, you know, phase this out over the next, you know, 10, 50 years. You know, it's going to be a while. It may take a couple of generations or so, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think that's the problem. I mean, when I look at like the race issue, I think about it. I'm like, the problem is we fought segregation with segregation. We fought segregation by still putting up walls and trying to create barriers and protection zones and all this stuff, rather than rather than just saying like, let the people who disagree with equality out themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the people who actually have an issue with somebody out themselves and push themselves off, while we all stay over here and just like live life as people. Because the thing is, and this is what doesn't get pushed enough in my mind, anybody who hates somebody based on the color of their skin, based on religious values, any of that stuff, those people are the minority. You know what I mean? Like the majority of us are ready to just live together and be happy together.
Right.
But we give so much attention to those smaller minorities and everything. But Tater said again how much she loves the hat and said that the documentary is one of the best oral stories she has ever heard. She's seen Uncle Tom about 10 times. So apparently that's on my watch list now. I'm just saying, like,
good old, it's a dope documentary, man. The way they edited the video, it's entertaining. You know, like it grabs you in the beginning with a lot going on, and then it dives more into the history. But by that point, you're already, you know, hooked and you're into it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really creative. It's not like the average old boring documentary that you would watch.
Right on. Gabe asked, I think this was more of a joke, but Gabe did ask if you got a fresh cut for the interview. He says you're looking good.
No, I didn't do it for the interview, but I mean, I shave my head almost every day or two. So I did shave my head earlier today. But I mean, that's a common thing for bald head.
He's just naturally looking good. He naturally got that swag going.
Don't get me wrong, I had it woofed out. I had it all growing for the winter time, so I just started shaving again in the past couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, I did get a fresh cut right before this, like literally right before this, because I was running behind a little bit. Walked in the door, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Man, I'm flaring out." Like, Sierra, you gotta cut this real quick because like this thing's going crazy.
Ooh, I keep yawning. I'm gonna be tired.
It's all right, man. Like you got that grind going. Speaking of that grind, I was like, let me shout out. I see Sweeney TV up in here. What up, brother? Chris, how you doing? Shane, I don't think I said hey to you.
Sweeney
and Kelvin, man. If y'all missed that first interview with Kelvin over on Sweeney's channel, y'all missed out. Make sure you go back and catch it, man. We talked about a ton. Checked out.
It was intense. It was a whole hour or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more than an hour, man. Yeah, man, we pulled a bunch out. We went through a whole album together. We checked out other people's music. We checked out your other channels. Like, we checked out a ton, man. We went through the history of Kelvin J over there, for real.
And then my cousin Hypno 313 ended up in there.
That was a good dude, for real.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Shane, what up, Shane? Let's see. Let's hope the trolls don't come out this time. Keep bringing the message, Kelvin and Tyler. Hey, appreciate that. I'm sure Kelvin does too. I mean that.
What up, Doug?
I love the thing is, when I made this channel and what I always look at this channel is how much how much positivity like we're bringing to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I think if you're making content, if you've got a platform at all, you got to be using it to say something, do something. And the thing is, like, how at the core of that, at least for me, so much positivity am I bringing people? Because, like, you can roll around in the mud all day, but like, what are you doing for somebody to actually make their life better?
All right. I completely agree.
See what else we got. We got Mike Duggan. What up, Mike?
Mike Duggan for the touchdown. Tater, you are blessed. Who don't love Larry Elder? Sup, y'all?
What up,
Sup,
John?
y'all?
Oh, let's see. Chad Jackson makes the real story a no-name average Joe. Let's see. And then we got
Chad is the homie. Chad is a really, really cool guy.
Oh, yeah?
Really good, humble man. Hardworking, conservative American.
Right on. Let's see. Tater says exactly John or Herman Thomas. Carol Swain. They all are mind-blowing. We got my boy Wayne Buzzard. How you doing, Wayne? Wayne drumming for the band Slow Kill. If you guys haven't been checking it out over the past few days, check it out. We booked up in God bless. I can't stop coughing. I keep choking on my spit today. But we got a thing. Me and Slow Kill. We got a thing coming up on Derby Day, May 1st in Louisville. If you guys haven't been here the past few days, so be looking out for that. All right. So that's catching up. Everybody else just saying, hey. All right, so let's talk about, speaking of everything Kelvin's got going on, all that. So I'm gonna play this clip for you. I'm gonna give you a teaser of what we're gonna listen to in a minute. Just because I like this clip, I like how it comes across and everything too. Let me throw this up real quick. We're gonna check out Kelvin's new track here in a minute, but first we're gonna play the teaser.
Now stand up for Jesus. And put your hand.
I'm with that. I'm with the teaser. I know you were saying like it's a little teaser, but I mean it sounds like it's coming in hot. I'm excited. I haven't listened to the song yet. I was saving it. Huh?
I said it's classy.
Yeah, it is classy. It is classy. So I noticed
with the $1.99 for COVID.
What? Okay. It ain't COVID. I'm just choking on the spit. But that is Kelvin's got this new song out. I think it's with Tyson, yeah?
The amazing Tyson James.
New track coming out, Jesus Saves with Tyson James. So talk about, I know me and you talked offline a little while back. Talk about your relationship with the other MAGA boys. Like since all that stuff since that happened, like what we looking at? Like y'all still keep in touch, y'all still close and everything. What's up there? Because I know y'all still making music together and stuff.
Yeah, so we still keep in touch. Everybody's living their lives. Bryson's, he's real busy with everything he's got going on. Tyson has a full-blown family, 5 kids and a wife. And then me, I'm just the single man out here living in the world. But so everybody's got a lot going on, but we still keep in touch. We still text and chat here and there.
Yeah.
Originally, I was going to have Bryson on this song originally, but he's just been busy and everything. So I ended up getting Tyson on the track, and so me and Tyson got this song that we're going to show and share with everybody. We got this song done, and it's this other song that Tyson's working on. It's like a multiple artist song. I'm not sure if Bryson's going to be on that one, but it's a pretty dope song, and stay tuned for that. I don't recall the. Well, I recall the name, but I don't know if he's releasing that information yet. But
yeah,
there's another song coming out with me, Tyson, and a couple other people. It's going to be pretty dope. Yeah. But yeah, we stay in touch. Stay tuned for the MAGA Boys vinyl. That's still in the works. Yeah. We're still cleaning up the contract for it, and I think the album art's done for it. So that's going to be a pretty awesome vinyl if you're into records. I'm into records myself, so I'll definitely, will have some for myself. But yeah. It's going to be a limited. We're planning to do a limited edition of 500 copies only.
Okay.
And so it'll be 500 vinyls with I think it's like 14. I think it's 12 or 14 tracks on it, and it's a mixture between MAGA Boy tracks with all 3 of us on the tracks. as well as some singles and some of our own singles that we have. So just a collective of Maga Boy music on a vinyl.
Right on. Okay. So that'll be pretty dope. Like y'all gonna be pushing out that pre-order link, right? Like I'm
But
just
I mean, hopefully so. Hopefully so for the vinyl. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually gonna reach out to him today or tomorrow to see what's the update on it, because I was hoping to get those out before summer.
yeah. So with Jesus Saves here, it looks like in the preview you got a vinyl on there too. Is that dropping? Are you dropping that as a vinyl for the single?
No, that's just some art for
Oh, okay.
promotional art.
Man,
That would be dope, huh? A vinyl
you have,
for saves.
yeah,
Now,
you
if
have
I
my
do a
hopes
whole
up.
album, and I'm not sure yet. 9 times out of 10, I will. But right now, Jesus Saves is just a single. But I may turn that into an album and actually have the album name Jesus Saves and just add more tracks to it.
Right. All right. Let's see. We got some things. Let's see. Make sure we're hitting that like button. Yeah, be hitting that like button.
Hit that like button, y'all gonna smash it.
Let's see. We got John talking about Tyson almost done building his new crib. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, he's killing it. I'm looking to go out there and visit after once he finished the new house. He said I can come out. So hopefully I can get out there. We can shoot some videos and bring some content.
Yep. Let's see. We got Bryson was just on Candace Owens show. Can't wait to watch that. I didn't know Bryson was on the Candace Owens show. That's pretty awesome. Like
I gotta watch that too.
That show, I mean, that shows though like the impact. I mean, it's making a name, getting up there and stuff. When you got conservative black rappers like going out, actually making a statement and everything, actually getting noticed and stuff. Like, I mean, Candace Owens is definitely not like a small name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see if anyone wants to hear some great random freestyle rap. Check out Kelvin J's channel for the Howard University stuff. Can't link it, but show you boys some love over there. I got I got Kelvin J's main channel and I got his Oyet TV. What was that? Open Your Eyes to the Truth, right?
Yeah, Open Your Eyes to Truth.
Yeah, Open Your Eyes to Truth TV channel. Both are linked down below. Y'all should definitely go check out both of those and subscribe. Dude has a ton of awesome content on both channels, not just his music. Because Kelvin, like that's the thing too. Like I think I didn't realize until we were talking on Chris's channel that one day. You've been making a bunch of stuff. Like you did the thing for a while where you went through the university campuses. You've done your music stuff. I mean, you've done a bunch of stuff. So you want to talk about that for a second? Like what all you kind of been into and
yeah. So we got Fire Freestyle. That's what Sweeney is talking about. Fire Freestyle series. You can go to YouTube, just type in Fire Freestyle series. It should pop up. But with that, we just and I'm actually converting that. Now, because when I started Fire Freestyle, I wasn't as close to God as I am now. So when I started it, it was just completely having random people freestyle on it, cursing, whatever they want to talk about. But now with that same movement, I want to try to push the gospel a little bit as well with that series. So, as I'm bumping into these random people in random locations and they want to rap about or sing about whatever randomly, I want to leave them, with the love of God as well.
Yeah.
But so we got, Fire Freestyle series, then the reaction channel where I'm just reacting to different music or different videos. And I do plan on having more content coming for the reaction channel and the Oyet channel. Been a little slowed up on those two channels lately, but bear with me. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, man. Just working on my music and I do music videos and stuff as well.
Yeah. Now you've got the Hard R podcast, right?
Yeah.
Is that still running? I know I haven't seen a new episode in a couple of weeks.
It's on. The new episodes have been airing on Spotify. The most recent ones have been without me. The other host, he's been taking charge of the most recent episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But once things get smoothed out, then we'll be, we'll both be on each episode, knocking them out each week. But yes, that is something, we're getting the kinks out to be on a more smooth flow with it.
Yeah. So the Hard R Park podcast, for any of you guys wanting to get caught up in that, I didn't link it in the description of this video. I just dropped it in the chat for all you guys that are Spotify savvy and want to go over and subscribe to that, because it is pretty dope. I mean, talking about where it's coming from, the tagline up there, they're bringing the hardest R's of truth in reality, religion, politics, music, and entertainment. And so they do take a really, really, fresh, kind of refreshing take. If you're looking for like just somebody being candid and honest, coming out with a, real God focused conservative mindset and stuff like that, I really enjoy the podcast. I've been checking it out. Kelvin shared it with me when it first started, and I've been checking it out ever since. So definitely make sure that you guys get up over that. The other guy that you do it with, Cody Ibarra.
I'm not sure that's how you say his last name, but Cody is first name.
So how did you guys link up? What's up there? Like who is he, and how did you guys get in touch?
I met Cody in Arizona when the MAGA Boys went out there to perform in Arizona. He was out there, and we just linked up after the show, and we just stayed connected and been pretty cool since. He's also a chef out there. He cooks and everything. So he's holding it down over there on the West Coast, and I'm over here on the East Coast, and we're just taking things day by day. But I'm glad, I'm honored he brought me onto the podcast, because it's his podcast, and he brought me into it as a co host.
Yeah,
it's fun to be a part of it.
Oh, so Tater says, Kelvin, have you heard of Hog Mob Ministries?
I have not heard of Hog Ministries.
Hog Mog. It's not the same as Hangover Gang. It's a Christian-based channel. Lots of ex-gang members preaching and rapping about God.
The Hog Mob. Nope, I haven't heard of them.
Hog Mob. I don't know if I know Hog Mob. I know I've heard of them. I don't know anything. I can't think of anything right off with them. I don't know. Is Seven tied into that? Because I've definitely listened to Seven. Do you know Seven?
No, I'm not sure.
Seven's pretty dope. Like as far as concern, I know he's outside of, well, he's not really like, he don't really come with the conservative message as much. He definitely goes with the Christian message a lot, though. I checked him out a little while back. Definitely interesting dude. I mean, I think he would link up with you guys pretty well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mises says, wifey said Mises in the convo. Mises always in the convo, man. Ever since I put this hat on, I can't get Mises out the convo.
Mises in the convo.
Yeah. I'll say me and Kelvin were talking about Mises up beforehand. If you don't know my man Kelvin J, Kelvin is a dope conservative Christian hip hop artist, and
I'm just a guy. I'm just a man. Like everybody else, and the women and men out there.
Just a man like everyone else out there.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, we were definitely talking about Mises earlier. I always got to show my boy some love anyway. So I was trying to push him to try and get in touch for a feature and everything. So I'm like, yeah, think about it.
Just a little feature. Got to be a little clean though.
He said you might have to clean it up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Let's see. Sweeney got a question too. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to check out Kelvin and Tyson James's newest track. Sweeney says, Kelvin, with the experience of being a father figure with RBH's child, that might be a little bit too personal, but let's see. Do you have plans on being a father in the future, depending on if you find the right one?
So me and RBH are not together anymore. I'm currently single. And
there you go, ladies.
What's it? Right, plug it for the ladies, right? Do you have plans on being a father in the future, depending if you find the right one? Yeah, if God wills the right woman into my life, I would definitely be a father to, my kids. Hope God willing, I would love to have kids. That's like one of my biggest things on this earth, man, is to have some flesh. So that would be amazing.
Yeah. It is a magical feeling when you get a kid. Like I don't understand it because all my friends had kids before I did, but like kind of having a kid in your house and everything. I mean, there's those frustrating times. I'm sure you've seen those, like being around a kid sometimes, like trying to have dinner and they start acting crazy and stuff like that. Like there's those frustrating times, but I mean, there's nothing like when a kid runs up to you and like genuinely just like, it's the purest feeling in the world that you see, like they just genuinely want to give you a hug or something like that. Like, it's insane, man.
Want to hang out with you, just sit there with you, whatever.
Yeah.
Kids are amazing, man. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to have my own kids, man. That would be the day. I mean, because I know I'm gonna be, a good father. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm excited for that journey.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think values are the core, man. Like a lot of people don't realize in parenthood, like the biggest core that you bring into parenthood, especially as a father, is having the values in place, like understanding your household, leading your household, caring for your household and stuff like that. But and like
I was going to say, God has put me in such an amazing position spiritually because, I'm 30 now. I just turned 30 in December.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what life would have been like if I would have got married, to just a most toxic situation, in my earlier years. I had multiple kids with whoever, I could just be living in hell right now. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed that I'm not tied up in any situation like that, so God has, given me the mindset to be able to do things the right way. And hopefully, if God wills a woman into my life, we can do things the right way and change the evil curses of the generations.
Yeah, man, I feel that. I had a lot. I mean, I relate to that a ton, and that's part of why, like I got along with you a ton when we first talked. Anyway, I'm like, we checking some parallels off. I mean, I won't fault you for being in the Air Force because I mean, but I mean, like we checking some parallels. We got them veterans and everything. I heard you talking about that one time before, and I'm like, I can think about so many women I was with over the years that, like, if I had that sounds terrible to say it that way, but like I can think about really so many times if I had accidentally like had a kid in that situation where, if I had decided to move forward and like we had a kid in that situation, like how much worse my life would be right now. Because I actually met my wife, I think when I was 26, something like that. We got married when I was about 27, 28, right in there. I'm terrible with all that, but we got married around that time, had our daughter shortly after, and it's like I mean, how much worse would we be off if like I had like 3 kids trailing me from before with somebody that I just genuinely didn't belong with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with having kids, realizing you made a mistake, moving on and all that. But I'm saying like I know I'm personally probably happier, better off than I would have been otherwise,
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting journey, that's for sure.
Shout out right here to Tater St. Mises in the house. It's a good stream. Hey, Gabe, hope you're good. What up, Million Mile Club?
The Million Mile Club.
Yeah, well, Million Mile Club. He's a trucker.
What up, truckers in the building?
We just talking about some new music coming soon too, man. It's crazy. Like looking at the release cycle and everything, and we definitely looking forward to that. Don't get me wrong. Looking forward to the release cycle and everything, though. It's crazy how much music comes out with. Like it's a ton to keep up with. I know you got a reaction channel going on too, in addition to your music, in addition to your videos and stuff like that. Now you haven't had a ton of time to really focus on your reaction channel though lately, have you?
No, I mean I have the time. Right now I'm just getting it all organized to a smooth system because there's just so many little things between the reaction channel, the OYET channel, the Kelvin J channel, music, my production company. What was the other thing?
Podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Yeah. So it's a lot, but it's really not. It's really not a lot. It's just me making excuses and not handling things the way I should be handling things. But once I get it all on a clean, smooth schedule, where I'm working on oh yet on Monday, and I work on this channel on Tuesday, and I stick with that routine and get it flowing good. And I think that has a lot to do with my living situation as well, because I don't have my own place right now and I'm renting a room. So, and then the hours of the other people that live here, I try to respect, the hours that they sleep and things like that. So I really kind of just need my own space so I can be operative, 24/7 whenever I want to.
Yeah.
Really get a lot of work done. So, we're working on that. We'll see how it all unravels.
Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing where you're going, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you're doing. I'm like I said, I've been feeling your stuff since I first caught you. So
that's awesome, man.
Definitely.
It's awesome just to know like people take interest in my music, man. Whether it's regardless of who it is and how much of an interest it is, but
yeah,
the fact that it can reach some people is just it's pretty dope.
Hey, real quick, because I know I said after Sweeney's question we were going to jump into the song. Let me ask you though, because with Mises hanging around there, Mises talking about his music coming up soon and everything. I was thinking back. One thing me and Mises talked about a lot is Lecrae, and I know you've got some thoughts on Lecrae too. Where you stand on Lecrae?
Well, I don't know too much about Lecrae, but the little bit that I have seen of him like bouncing around the whole LGBT situation. That's the main thing I really know about him. And then the fact of him proudly performing for Democrats, which I would assume he got paid for, so stuff like that, you can't, like, how can I go perform a godly song, but I'm standing for the side of the people who are for, most of the evil policies and the evil things that's going on right now. So that doesn't make any sense. And then, the fact that he just can't bluntly speak against the LGBT community. And the reality of it is that it's a wrong way to live. It's no if ways about it. The same way you have a murderer. For a murderer, it's wrong for them to live as a murderer. They should be trying to overcome those thoughts of murdering the same way, a gay person or a transgender person should be trying to overcome those thoughts. And what a lot of people, when it comes to the gay community, they don't understand is that, we all have our different things that we're trying to overcome. You know what I mean? Like my curse may be different than your curse, but whatever it is something, whether it's drugs, whether it's women, whether it's horrible spending, whatever crazy, evil situation you're overcoming, we all have it, And with the LGBT community, instead of them wanting to join the people who are trying to overcome, they just got stuck in a trance of, well, this is just what it is, and why should I have to limit myself and not, if I want to be with other men, why can't I just be me and be with other men? Well, you can't be with other men the same way I can't go around murdering people because I want to just murder people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's these things that you just have to work against. And if your curse was you have to fight against the thought of being with other men sexually, it may suck for you or whatever, but everybody has their thing and everyone's different. But
I think what that comes back to for a large part, is a lot of people these days, especially a lot of Christian people, they don't understand, like, they don't have the backbone to actually stand on their values. But further than that, it's not just that you're not standing on your values. It's that people are so, like, I can speak my mind, you can speak your mind. We can disagree at the end of the day, and we can still live together. You know what I'm saying? Like we can still live around each other, interact with each other, and be fine. But the thing is, so many people are so afraid to say, no, I can't support that because I don't agree with that, or no, I can't do that, whatever the case may be. It's become such a thing where we're so afraid of backing down because we don't want to look like the bad guy, or something, or not backing down, but standing up because we don't want to look like the bad guy. And so we end up backing down and conceding all this ground and everything like that. And it's just, it's silly, man. It's people don't have a backbone. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a little confrontation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That just happened with, I don't know if you watched The Bachelor.
I don't watch The Bachelor.
It just happened.
No offense for that.
The host was a white guy. Yeah.
You got that COVID.
The host was a white guy, and they kicked him off for what they claimed to be racist statements and encouraging and supporting racism. You have to look into that situation off time. Just look into the Bachelor host gets fired or whatever. Yeah. And it's such a joke because nothing he said was racist. Nothing he said was in the realm of the racist world or whatever. It was just a whole bunch of foolish crap. But they convinced them to be weakened in a position to apologize. You know what I mean? To apologize and say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry for doing this." So we live in a world now where people are being convinced that they are evil and racist when they're not. And then they're being convinced to apologize to the whole world for something that they didn't even do. It's just crazy.
What was it recently? The guy from Mumford and Sons, I think he canceled himself. Like he came out with this big thing about how apparently he's a racist or something. Like,
it's just like, everybody's racist nowadays.
And he's like, I never realized I was a racist until the other day. I'm like why? Because you were born. Why? Like, what's the problem? Like,
you know, Alpha. I didn't realize that I was racist until I realized I was mixed with white. When I understood that I was mixed with white, that's when I realized that I was racist.
Yeah. Like it just dawned on you, right? It's like
I know it now. I have to pay myself reparations.
It's like those little atoms inside of yourself that were trying to like mix the colors and everything. Like they were just trying to kill each other, right? Like nonstop. Like you couldn't help it. Like genetically, you just going at it. Like your body was ripping in half and all that.
I think I have to get 2 accounts now. I have to have a black Kelvin account and a white Kelvin account. And the white side, I have to transfer money from my white account to my black account.
Yeah. What was it recent? My wife was telling me recently, I guess Coca-Cola came out and said like be less white or something like that. And my initial response was are they supporting tattoos? Like, are they trying to get people to get more tattoos? Like I'm with it, but I'm saying like what's the angle here? Like, where are you coming from with this? Like telling people be less white? Like, come on now. Like I'm
interested to see what Tyson brings. Tyson got his new music video called Less White.
Oh, yeah. I haven't checked that out yet. But I'm saying, like, how ridiculous is it? It's like, here's the thing. I shouldn't feel a certain way about being born this color, just like you shouldn't feel a certain way about being born that color. Just like, whatever. Like, who cares? At the end of the day, we can set up, we're having a conversation. Like, literally, this conversation doesn't change any if you're a white dude or if I'm a black dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's so stupid that we're in a world right now where it's like, be less white, be less. How is that not just as racist as telling a black dude to be less black? Because Coke ain't gonna come out and do that.
Right. They're not gonna come out and say. And like another thing, like with the whole, white lives matter, black lives matter, Asian lives matter. And you see those memes, and it's like, all right, keep it coming. We're almost to all lives matter. Like, Like,
we almost there.
It's so stupid. They don't even see it. Like, how can you stack up these signs? Black lives, Asian lives, Mexican lives, brown lives. Just say all lives. It's so dumb.
It's ridiculous, man. It's like we run in these circles, and months ago, some of us were already saying all lives matter. Like some of us already jumped the gun, so like we already skipped ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? Like we already said, hey, everybody matters. Like, can we just go on? And now it's like you said. I mean, we're just adding pieces. Like everybody else is going to catch up eventually. Like eventually, every life's going to matter. We just got to get there.
Right.
Let's see. All right, we're going to check out this song real quick. I know y'all got a ton of questions, and that's dope because we're going to jump into those on the other side of it. But I definitely want to hear this new song because I've been waiting. Unlike y'all, I've been waiting a little while to hear this song because me and Kelvin have been talking about this for a few days now. So drop your questions in the chat 100%, and we're going to get to them on the other side of the video. But Kelvin's also asked that we actually break down the video, so we're going to be pausing. You guys know, like, my pause button gets a little bit heavy sometimes, so it might be a couple minutes. All right, let's see. Let me figure out my Chrome tab. Got the Jesus saves right there. Let's make sure we share the audio so that I ain't listening to it alone. Look at this right here. You got one dislike already.
Everybody to Jason, everybody is not God's children. Jason JV. He said we all God's children, so we all matter. You got to be reborn again and become a child of God.
Ooh, Kelvin pushed him back. Kelvin said, "Hey,
I'm just saying. It's a whole lot of people out here serving Satan, and they are children of Satan."
That is true. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you know, I think Jason's coming from a different perspective right there, saying we all have a path to God. But I mean, we all got to take that path to get there, you know.
Right.
All right, let's check out Jesus Saves. It's Kelvin J featuring Tyson James. Unofficial video. It's an unofficial video? Why is this an unofficial video?
That is just a video I got off the internet. The actual music video is in the works.
All right. So we got the unofficial video for Jesus Saves.
But the official audio.
The official audio. Let me share this link in the chat real quick before we kick it off so that y'all can head over there and show some love, like it, all that stuff. Get your own views in as well. Once we get through it, let's check out what he's bringing, though. Let's go. I think. Oh, yep. There we go. So that was the sound I was looking for. I heard that preview, and I was like, okay, is this thing playing? Like, we. All right, we good. Let's go.
Let's stand up for Jesus. Yeah. And put your hands up for God. Yeah. Let's stand up for Jesus. Yeah. And put your hands up for God. Christ, Lord and Savior, black of the palms. Blood just a drizzle, I could sip while you gone. Smoking on that seed in the world of confliction. It's just a little tree, not a little addiction.
Okay, so we talk about them seeds. We're talking about how seeds grow into trees, baby. We're talking about how you start with that one little thing. You know, you start off. That's a really solid bar right there. We're talking about smoking on the seeds. Of course, you know, if you guys, if you're ingrained in the 420 culture, whatever, you know, you may be, you know, you don't really want to be smoking the seeds and everything. But, you know, we're talking about smoking a little bit of seeds and everything grows into addiction. We're talking about planting those seeds, though. We're talking about reaping what you sow. We're talking about scattering seeds out. You get that little piece of evil inside of you, and it blossoms into a full tree, into a full manifestation. Am I wrong? Stop me if I'm wrong, because you're here. Normally nobody's here to stop me if I'm wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong.
You said stop me if I'm wrong. That line was more so towards, let me see, I want to make sure I decipher it right myself. It's just smoking on that seed in the world of confliction. It's just a little tree, a little addiction.
Yeah.
So that, I was referring to obviously smoking on seeds, marijuana. In a world of confliction, people try to, you know, use drugs to get away from reality. Right. Society tells you that it's just, you know, it's just tree, it's just marijuana. But in reality, you know, it is an addiction and you can become addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it can fuel your actual addictions.
Yeah.
So, you know, marijuana can actually fuel those evil addictions that you need to get rid of. So the marijuana may not be evil in itself, but it can fuel the addictions of the other stuff.
Okay.
And so that was pretty much my spill on it. But I like going into the tree and the seeds and growing, because that's always a given as well with the knowledge, right?
Well, I'm thinking like that's the image that I get, like the metaphor that I get. You know what I'm saying? Like I get where we're coming from on smoke of the weed and everything. And like that grows into an actual addiction. It grows into a vice. It grows into something you lean on. It grows into something that can become an evil, destructive force. Now there are plenty of people who smoke weed and they're fine for their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, and good on them. But I'm saying like it can grow and manifest into that evil thing that does take over, and they become a slave to it. Like, and I do like thinking about, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I wanna hear what does Tater Monkey disagree with the point on weed. I would love to hear why, because I used to did before God woke me up. You know, I used to be a strong supporter of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a strong supporter of marijuana. And when it comes to marijuana, obviously it is different for different people.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's different. Your income bracket makes a change. Whether if you're a millionaire, whether if you're a regular poor person, whether if you're not doing much in life, whether you have a lot of things to do in life, it really matters. It changes for every circumstance. So, but as a whole, as a society as a whole, you know, God has revealed to me the negatives of marijuana and how as a whole it's not good for society.
Yeah. I understand where you're going. I mean, I feel like too, a lot of people, like, I mean, you know, coming from, and I won't spend too much time talking on it, but I mean, coming from like an addictive background, you know, struggling with some things, and looking at some of my friends and everything that have struggled with some things. I mean, you see those people too who smoke a little bit, and like, I mean, they go into like full on psychosis for a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some people that completely go off the rails with a little bit. But let's see, Godly Girl helps me cope. Okay.
I mean, that's fine if you're just, you know, easing off the night and you want to smoke weed to relax your joints or your body. You know, if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. My message was more so on the fact of how it negatively affects the workers. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, if you're going through legit pain, I'm not sure if you're working like a regular job daily or what you're accomplishing daily, or if you've already accomplished your goals and you're just kind of more in a retirement state of working and living nowadays. So all those things will make a determination. But yeah, I mean, I understand completely how it can help your joints, and it's a more natural pain healer compared to a lot of these other drugs out here.
What I think the important thing too, and I think one thing we have to keep in mind, you know, I mean, Kelvin's not saying anything to attack anybody here. I mean, he's throwing something out.
Attacking. No,
yeah. It's a straight, I mean, a lot of things, like, even if I can have a few drinks and be fine, but maybe somebody else can't have a few drinks and be fine. Like, there are a lot of things that impact a lot of people in different ways. And that's where a lot of times, you know, I always go back to, we always have to be mindful when we talk about being godly, when we talk about, you know, serving God and everything. There is a part where the Bible leaves a lot of things vague. And there are a lot of personal convictions that are going to hit me that aren't going to hit you. You know what I mean? One of my first struggles as a Christian that caused me to fall away from God for a little while was, you know, I didn't feel a conviction that like I had to just stop listening to music and everything. And I had people in my local church though that were like, no, as soon as I got saved, I threw away all my country music CDs. You can't even sell them because then that's benefiting off of Satan and all this stuff. And I'm like I didn't feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel like I had to burn everything that I owned beforehand, or like I had to shave my beard off beforehand, or, you know, as soon as I got saved or anything like that. I'm like, so, I mean, when we come down to personal conviction, I think what we come down to, and the real thing to keep in mind, God is a jealous God, and God doesn't let us put anything before him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that's one thing that really shines for me personally, at least. I mean, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah. All right.
I was gonna say, with the song, can we run it straight through from end to end first, and then slice it?
Yeah. We can do that. Let me start it over. We'll do that straight through. Let's go. I'll actually make it full screen if I'm not going to pause in here. Let's do this. Let's go.
Jesus saves.
Now stand up for Jesus. Yeah. And put your hands up for God. Yeah. Now stand up for Jesus. Yeah. And put your hands up for God. Christ, Lord and Savior, black of the palms, blood just a drizzle, I could sip while you gone. Smoking on that seed in the world of confliction. It's just a little tree, not a little addiction. Now you popping pills for a little attention. Just a little kid, but you don't want to mention. Scared of CPS taking you for the vicious. Losing all your kids, now they giving them homes. Just a little cubby, they can call it their own. Got her moving quick, she the king of her throne. Black beauty queen, what they call it, I sifted. Silly with her words, yeah, I hardly could listen. Bill's red pill, it's the only drink listed. Division of the kin, let the feelings be shifted. Fight against your sin, we ain't here to embrace it. Soberness is better, acting no hesitation. Now stand up for Jesus. Yeah. You gotta stand up for God. Now stand up for Jesus. Yeah, you gotta stand up for God.
Yeah, I stand up for God, man, and y'all can't fathom. I stand for the rock, stand for the national anthem. I stand with a Glock, man, I hold it with the passion. He came for the lost and gave his life as a ransom. Most don't even stand for those, don't even have a voice. You can't even sit at my table, you're pro-choice. I make noise with the boys, God is raising a remnant. Not trying to be the cool kid, cause I'm independent. I'm in it, I'ma get it till the day that I die. Trust me, I can't wait till the day that I fly. I stand now, but when I see him, I'ma bow to my Jesus. He'll never forsake us, man, and he'll never leave us. Just a little bit of heaven, all that I need. Don't sip the Kool-Aid and stay away from the weed. I'm out to get the cake, I'm in the race, so don't test me. And every time I come around, you know I stay blessed. So stand up for Jesus.
And put your hands up for God. Yeah. Stand up for Jesus. Yeah. And put your hands up for God. Stand up for Jesus. And put your hands up for God.
So I like the song, and I know that is not the video that you're rocking with, but I like the video a lot too. Like I feel like the video actually really fits. Hang on a second, I think you're muted.
I said it vibes with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does vibe with it. Like, I mean, if I were to just be watching that video for the first time, like you hadn't told me anything, I would be thinking straight up like that was a video that was made for that song.
Right. Yeah,
so
I agree.
Kudos on that. Yes, because Chris mentioned in the chat, mentioned the instrumental. The instrumental almost sounds like it sounds like a familiar sample, but I know it's probably like a tweaked up. It kind of sounds like a tweaked, like the basis for the instrumental sounds like a tweaked vocal sample. So where did the instrumental come from? Did you make it or did you buy it?
No, someone actually sent it to me, and I'm not sure too much. I don't know too much about them. They haven't been that responsive in responding.
Yeah.
But, someone sent it a while back, like I think towards the end of last year, and said, "Hey, see what you could do with this beat." And that's what I could do with that beat.
Yeah, right on. Like I like it. So I'll say listening through to the song, playing it all the way through, there were a couple of points where I really wanted to pause. So I want you to know, I'm sure everybody in the chat will let you know just how hard it is for me to listen to a whole song without pausing at least once.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But just listening through, there were a bunch of points where I really wanted to pause, but I feel like what we talked about at the beginning is really kind of the crux in that song. I'm gonna unplug these because honestly, even though I wear them for 6 hours, sometimes they're super uncomfortable. But I think what we talked about at the beginning was the most important thing. And I think it was really at the core of the song is really putting God first. I mean, regardless of all the stuff, because one thing that we don't understand and one thing that I talk, Chris, I think we talked about this during, your interview on his channel a while back. Chris is really early in his walk with God. And one thing that I always try to share with people is really thinking about where you are in your walk with God and understanding the most important thing is putting God first and figuring out the rest of the stuff along the way. You know what I mean?
All right.
And really, really like the way that song kind of came across to me was, really kind of putting your point there. I hear about even in Tyson's verse, he comes back to put the weed down, talking about keeping your hands back. So I'm wondering if that was a call against violence or what he was looking at right there. But I mean, what I'm hearing through that is really the peace, putting your hands up, really just giving in, surrendering to the worship. I think about a church service where you're told, like in my local church, you're told you have a freedom of worship. If you want to put your hands up, put your hands up. If you want to get out in the aisles, get out in the aisles. Whatever you have to do to feel comfortable in your worship for God, whatever God leads you to do, that's what you're welcome to do. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from this song, was really just come out and embrace that freedom of worship. You know what I mean?
Right. Just the main message, is just standing up. Standing up for God and Jesus, standing up for what's right and righteousness.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, one of the biggest downfalls we've been seeing in society today is a lot of people are afraid to stand up, and people feared death of the flesh over standing for what is right.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest things that has weakened mankind.
Yeah.
But because we've become to just love this world so much that we love it so much that we're willing to lie to ourselves and others to maintain another 40, 50, 60 years on this planet, right?
Yeah. I think it comes back to the fear of change, though. I mean, really, I've had this conversation. I don't know if we've talked about like when I went to college, I got a history degree, studied religion a lot, had a minor in religion and all that stuff. I think one of the biggest fears that we have, and one of the reasons that we have that fear of passing and everything, that fear of death, is really, coming around to think about like what is on the other side. Because I mean, we don't know. I mean, the Bible speaks vaguely of some things, but I mean, really in terms of heaven and hell, like we don't know. Most people's concept of hell is what Dante wrote about in Inferno. You know what I'm saying? And that's not an accurate, really, image of hell.
Like for me, I just lost my train of thought. What I was about to say back to that. It'll come back to me.
But I'm saying, I mean, we have the description, streets of gold, pearl arches and everything, and we understand like an idea, but we don't know, and that's what I think really comes back. What keeps us so afraid, even as Christians, I'll admit sometimes, like I think about
when you have that trust and that faith in God, it's like,
yeah,
it's nothing really to be afraid of, because it's like,
yeah.
It's no difference like the movie The Matrix. You know what I mean? Once you find out that you're in the Matrix, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you really care that you're in the Matrix and when you're in it? You know what I'm saying? You're not like, you know that when you die in the Matrix, the real world outside of it, in a sense. So that's kind of how I see it. When God wakes you up, it's just an awakening of the false reality, the falseness of this world becomes so clear that you don't really get caught up in the fear of dying. Like, it becomes easier to die for what's right, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I understand that. And that's the thing. Like, that's where I get to. Like, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of what awaits me on the other side. I'm confident, in where I'm going. I'm confident that where I'm going is better than where I could be going. But at the same time, like the things that keep me, I think about, I'm like, will my wife be able to pay bills if I pass before her? You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, talking about what you were talking about, don't be afraid of those things. I mean, those are things that Satan uses just as much as Satan uses drugs, Satan uses whatever other influence, Satan uses those things to really pull us away from that real conviction where we're not afraid to pass. But he uses things like, will my wife be able to pay the bills? Will my daughter, grow up and be led the right way with a strong man in her life? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that.
Who cares? I leave all that, to God. As long as I focus on handling what I need to do and what's right while I'm here, and then as long as you're doing what you need to do and you're handling what's righteous and you're taking things ahead of you, if you pass tomorrow, the day after that, everything should be in position, hopefully, for your wife and kids, and everything will work its way out. And if your wife has that same love, if she has the love of God flowing through her, given by you, then she should have no worries when you pass. She shouldn't go into like an extreme depression state where she just can barely operate months. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
If she's tight with God, you know, she should be able to keep on pushing and keep the journey going.
I agree.
That's what I believe.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let me back up a little bit because I did say before we played the song that we would get to some questions after we checked out the song. Kelvin, where are you located? Are you still in Detroit?
No, I live in the DC area. I'm like 20 minutes from DC in Maryland.
Okay. So you
that's a reflex.
But you are from Detroit originally.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Grew up in the Detroit city. I actually was just back there a couple weeks ago for a week visiting. I actually put no, I didn't vlog it. No. I was gonna say it's a vlog on my channel, but I didn't vlog that trip.
If y'all don't know Kelvin's background, my man is a G, man. He is from 7 Mile in Detroit. He's from that hard place, like where you gotta be hard, right?
Yeah, man, it's a tough world. I mean, you gotta be smart, if anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty smart, so I think I'm sorry, my phone is like going off. I'm pretty smart, so I think I'm good with talking my way through situations in life,
Yeah. Kelvin J has a really great graphic artist. If any reactors want to step their thumbnail game up, he takes PayPal too. I don't know if that was a shot at me. I'm gonna step my PayPal game up at some point. I just keep saying I'm going to, but then every time I work,
I think that was a shot. I think he was just because remember I put him on to my guy. I think he's just shouting them out.
Yeah.
He does the Fire Freestyle series thumbnails.
Yeah. Well, that guy is fire, but I will say my thumbnails are also garbage. So I mean, whichever way, like I always lean. And this is 100% what it is. Like, when you're coming with the album art, when you're coming with, something like that, like you've got to have the visual that accompanies the audio. You know what I'm saying? And my thing with thumbnails on reaction videos is everything. It's like some days, I used to put out like 8 reaction videos in a day or something like that. And some days I'm like, I'm not making 8 thumbnails. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
That's why I had to hire a guy, man. That's why I had to hire a guy because, like, I know how to do thumbnails myself, but doing those type of thumbnails specifically, and it's a lot easier nowadays. There's so many apps and random things, but even with that, you have to know what app. You have to be hip to what app it is that everyone's using. So I just made it easier, man. The guy I use, he's real dope. He's in India. He charges me. I think he charges me like $2 a thumbnail.
Yeah,
$2 a thumbnail.
That ain't bad.
So, no, I mean it's great. You know what I mean? It works for my budget.
Yeah.
And in rupees, it works for him because he's getting, a nice amount in the conversion rate. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm just lowballing him or something like that.
Yeah,
which works.
Right. Sweeney also said we love your music, Kelvin. We do.
We love your music.
I will say I would fanboy before you guys, like real talk. When I think about over the past year, like the artists that I've actually like invested money into and stuff like that, I think about it and it's like I have stopped like probably 2 years ago. I was buying like the Korn albums when they would come out, like all that stuff, like the bigger like Eminem would drop an album and I'd buy that and everything. And I think about it now and it's like I don't remember the last time I spent money on an artist that wasn't like actively promoting something on YouTube or like in this smaller, because when I was younger, I'm sure when you were younger, especially from Detroit, like a lot of the music scene was about the underground scene. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about local artists. It's about like who's out here actually grinding like at my local music store.
Right.
And I know
blew up.
What's that?
Before the internet blew up.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because we're about the same age. Like I'm sure you grew up as I did. Well, I don't know. I'm from Kentucky. We're about 10 years behind everybody. You may have been ahead of me. Like where I grew up, like we didn't have internet until I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like it just wasn't a thing. So it was like most of the artists that I was checking out regularly, besides like Rod Stewart and Bob Seger and stuff like that, were like the dudes that were hanging out when I walked into the music store. They were the dudes that handing their CDs like at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And so thinking about that, it's kind of interesting because you think about old things becoming new again and all that stuff. Like you really think about how it's all gone full circle, because now I think in the past year, like I've only dropped money for people that are in this grind, you know, people that are accessible, people whose music I actually enjoy, that I can reach out to and have a conversation with.
Right.
And like, and it's kind of crazy, but I will say, you know, I agree. I know I took a branch off of what Chris was saying, but like, I will agree. Like, we love your music, and real talk. Like, when we're talking about support, like I know myself and most of the people in this community, like it's real support, not the support like Eminem gets support. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I agree, man. It is. I see what you mean with it coming full circle, and how it kind of it expanded out to that full digital world. Then it just kind of came back to home a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know, that's how my playlist has been. You know, my playlist has gotten tighter and smaller.
Yeah.
Now I mostly only listen to a lot of the MAGA rappers overall.
Yep. I agree with Tater. Truth only hurts when you're lying to yourself. Absolutely. Die for my belief in God after losing a child. I have no doubt that God is. God is not always nice, but he always loves you. Yeah. And that's the thing, is really understanding God's purpose. Like, we don't. And so understanding that we don't know, you know?
Right. God is, just add in what you said about God's love isn't always nice. You know, God's love is not always nice. It's true. You know, it's a hard love. It's tough love. You know, It's conditioning, and it's conditional to mold you to be perfected as He is.
Yeah. Million Mile Club asks a little while back, Kelvin, where do you think the whole culture shift, and where are we heading according to the Bible? Where do you think we are?
According to the Bible, I couldn't tell you. I haven't read the Bible cover to cover, and I don't really get too caught up in like studying the Bible and all that. You know, I read it, go through scriptures, I allow God to reveal, you know, and I move on. But as far as the whole culture shift and everything, I don't know specifically what part you're talking about of the culture shift or what's going on, but I mean, as a whole, I mean, just seeing it shift from mainly, it seems like it's because women are becoming in power, from what I've seen. And you know, the more women rise to power, the more hell is reigned across the land. And not taking a jab at women, you know, but that's just the reality of. I'm a strong believer of the order of life. I'm a strong believer of God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. And when you tend to put women in high positions over men, it throws off unbalance. And that's where I see today, where you have most of the Black Lives Matters organization is pushed by 3 Black women. You know, I'm not sure if they're all gay, but 1 or 2 of them is. And a lot of these negative things you see being pushed in society are by, you know, women political leaders. And a lot of the men who are pushing these evil things are weak men who are being pillow talked by the women.
Yeah.
Well, honey, I think maybe we should just let the transgenders use the same bathrooms instead. I think it would be nice, honey. You know, as president, you should do that. And then the man president is like, you know what, honey, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah. It's like insisting as president that you call the first lady doctor instead of Mrs. or something, you know, like something crazy like that.
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. There you go. That's
Crazy.
I think that's just a perfect example of ignorance, like not understanding where a word comes from.
You know what else it is?
It's
a perfect example of the hatred that dwells within women.
Mm-hmm.
That evil spirit that dwells within the woman, you know, it's a perfect example of that, because it just shows that you can't have something without, because the only reason a woman came about is because of women. Some woman somewhere complained about it or said something about it, and then all of a sudden now people are up here saying a man and a woman. You know what I mean? And then, or the only way this person was out there complaining about it is if they had some type of a ego or hatred towards men. You know what I mean? The fact that thinking that, we could do everything men can do. When there's nothing wrong with understanding that you can't do everything men can do. You know what I mean? The same way men, we can't do everything a woman can do. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality of how God designed us.
When did people stop having pride in that though? Like there is a certain amount of pride to me in the fact that like I'm strong in ways that a woman is not, but like my wife is strong in ways that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like some days I'll come in and like going back. I mean, I'm thinking about like going back to Mises. I mean, he had a live stream a couple of weeks ago and he was talking about, the old him before he found God, like he would have been wanting to break somebody's kneecaps and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, like I can relate to that. And there have been so many situations where I've came in just fuming and my wife is like, just let it go. Like, it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like so many situations.
Well, you shouldn't be fuming. What are you fuming about?
Just honestly dumb stuff. It's like you get up in these thoughts and everything, you get mad and it's like,
have you gone to forgive your parents?
What's that?
Have you gone to forgive your mother and your father?
My mother and my father. What are you talking about?
Have you forgiven them? Have you gone and forgiven them?
I don't know where you're coming from right there. Like,
well, in order for you to be getting angry like that, you have a level of hatred within you. So I'm asking, have you gone to forgive? Because, in order to overcome your anger, you have to forgive so that God can forgive you, right?
Yeah.
And your parents are like your direct source that brought you into this world. They're the direct source to your connection with God, your father.
Yeah.
Your father, your biological father.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked when you said that, I asked, have you gone to forgive? Because, 9 times out of 10, that anger is not from you yourself, but it's from your mother.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things like I'm not gonna lie, like for the most part, yeah, like
personal, huh?
Yeah, like that hit home. Like I'm not gonna play. Like I mean, yeah.
Is your mother and your father alive?
Yeah, they're both alive. I actually had dinner with my mom today. My dad's a great guy. My dad is 100% like the image of a strong man in my life, but yeah,
there's a but, right?
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta forgive, man. I challenge you to go and face them face to face and truly forgive them.
Yeah,
and let go of any resentment that you hold towards them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
You can get rid of your PTSD. You can get rid of any anger coming in the house, upset about something. All that washes away, man. But you gotta go and forgive. You have to truly mean it.
You derailed me for a minute. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm thinking over some things. Like, that goes for my parents. Yeah, that goes for you and your parents too. I'm talking about you with my parents.
She hasn't forgiven her parents either.
I have. He has not.
Yeah.
So she went to her mother and said, "Mom, I forgive you."
Don't let her lie to you. She gonna try. Look at her. She's shifting around. She's getting ready. Kelvin over here bringing it out. Kevin's calling me out right here. Like, bless.
I mean, we're all laughing about it, but I'm telling you, man, until you truly forgive your father, you can never truly connect with God.
Well, and
it's such a powerful statement, man, because you can't love the father that you can't see. I mean, you can't, love the father you can't see and not love the father you can see. You know, I mean, a lot of people tend to hold a level of resentment towards their father and their mother. Many cases without even knowing it. A lot of people don't even know or realize that they hold that resentment towards them.
Man,
but if you're getting angry,
I'm with that. Like I said, I mean, that's like that is an eye-opening moment just for me personally, because I mean, like I said, I love my parents. I do, and I've always maintained like I love my parents, but there are things in their lifestyles and stuff that I've just never been.
Do you really love them though?
I do.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
But you never forgiven them.
I feel like I've forgiven them, but I don't know if I've like forgiven like certain things. Like that's where I'm at. Like
You say you forgave certain things.
I feel like I have forgiven them on the whole. I feel like there are certain things though that definitely in my heart probably have a little bit of resentment still.
Mm-hmm. Because forgiveness is across the board.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to face your parents, because once you go and you face and you truly forgive,
Yeah.
it's like a nuclear bomb hitting the planet and spreading across the whole entire earth.
Well,
every human involved gets hit by that forgiveness. You know what I mean?
And that's where I'm saying I think your question was kind of an eye opener for me, because like, when I think about it, like, have I forgiven them? Like dad, yeah. Mom, like, there's still some things that try as I might, like, I still hold resentment for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel that, if I'm being 100% honest, like, yeah.
Is it something you could share with us? Like something that you resent?
Like there's a few things. I mean, if I'm being real, like there's a few things. There are like things when I was younger, things when my sister was younger, things today. When I came back from Afghanistan, I'll tell you, like one instance, like where I stopped kind of trusting my mom. Like I came back from Afghanistan, I had a good chunk of change in the bank, because you don't spend money while you're gone and stuff like that, and come back and find out like my bank account had been like emptied because she had given my stuff to her husband at the time. Like going through stuff like that. I mean, there's just a lot of.
So you said, oh yeah, you said, so you just kind of held that, against them.
It's not even one of those things that like I actively hold against her so much as like, I know that impacts how much I trust her, and that impacts, how much, like, how close I let myself get to her and stuff like that.
Right,
So, when I say like, I hold those things, I do hold those things, because I think those things are hard to let go of. You know what I mean? But
right.
and that's kind of.
You definitely don't want to, you don't want to hold it, like as in a resentment form, but you do want to, you don't have to forget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if someone's crazy or violent or stealing from you or doing whatever, and they're continuously doing these things,
yeah,
definitely you don't want to be around these people. But at the same time, you still want to love them. You still want to, you wish the best for them. You wish them well into the world, and you just separate yourself from them. But you don't hold any resentment or hatred towards them.
Nah, and
it's not them that's doing it. You know what I mean? It's just that, that spirit within them, that evil spirit within them that's doing it, and that they need to overcome what they're working on.
I think that is where I'm at. Like when I say I haven't fully like forgiven something, I don't think that, like, in my heart I hold no hatred for it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more like there are things, and I'm sure you can relate. There are things that you accumulate that you just can't forget. You can't fully let go of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So did you forgive? Like you went to your mom and you said, "Mom, I forgive you."
I don't know if I ever said those words, but I mean, I had dinner with her as recently as today. You know what I'm saying? Like I've made it clear to her that, like, I'm not blocking her out of my life. I'm not holding her back from a part of my life or anything like that. Like,
right. So you should go and you should tell her, just like, "Hey, Mom, I just want to sit down and talk to you real quick," and just forgive her. Let her know that, "Mom, I forgive you, and I apologize for resenting you and holding any resentments to you." And if you want to go into each topic, you can go into that if you want to, but you gotta forgive, man. Same with your father, man. You gotta go look him dead in his eyes and let him know, let him have it, man. Just look your father dead in his eyes and let him know.
My dad would probably just tell me to stop being a girl and then walk off. But I feel you. He
can take it how he want to take it, but forgiveness is for yourself, not for anybody else.
No,
whether they get mad at you, whether they get happy, whatever, it's for your own spirit.
No, I feel that 100%. Like I said, I mean that what you said there. I mean that, like I said, I mean when you asked that question, you caught me off guard genuinely, and that took me down a hole, like for real. I mean, thinking through a lot of things, because I mean, I know, and I can honestly say there are some things in my heart that I probably haven't fully forgiven my mom for. I can say my dad, you know, I've definitely forgiven him for things when I was younger and stuff like that. But I mean, there are definitely things in my heart that I haven't fully forgiven my mom for.
What a million mile clips that you would be surprised at things that you can't forgive in your parents still affects your life to this day. Them deep dark demons, closest of the subconscious mind.
Yeah. You're talking about that stuff that's hid away. I feel that.
Powerful stuff, man. You know, I didn't, you know, I was seeking God for years, man. I grew up in a false Christian home, is what I like to call it, around a lot of fake believers, pretty much. And, you know, I always would pray, and, you know, people would talk about this thing called God, and everybody would talk about it. And I was like, what is it? I don't see it. Where is it? How does it work? You know, if I want a new toy for Christmas, do I ask God, am I going to get the toy? Like, what is it? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, never, I would get nothing, man. I would never get anything. At least I couldn't see anything anyway. You know, whether if I was getting it or not, who really knows? But I couldn't see that I was getting anything. And it didn't really click for me until I went to forgive, you know, because I didn't even know that I hated my father. You know, we just say it like that. Because the way I see it now is that, you know, if you haven't truly forgiven your parents, you know, it disconnects you from God in the sense that you don't have his love.
Yeah.
And without God's love, then you can't love anybody. You know, so if you haven't forgiven your parents, it's like you're walking earth thinking that you have a true sense of God's nature and his ways within you. But in reality, it's like you're being led, you know, by evil unknowingly.
Yeah.
But when you go and forgive it's and truly mean it, you know, it like unlocks a whole new reality, you know, and I see that as God forgiving you, you know, that moment when God truly can say, you know, okay, now it is time, you know, now I can finally forgive you. It's been 20, 30, 40, 60, 80 years, however many years it's been, but now you've gone and forgiven, so now I can truly allow you to see.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was a key part of me waking up when I went to forgive my dad.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing stuff, man. Amazing.
I agree.
That's like one of the biggest things I preach is forgiveness is key. Getting to know yourself and going to forgive your parents.
Yep. I agree.
And you'll know once you've forgiven, man. It won't be a question of the understanding, and the clarity would be so clear that it's not a question of, you know, I forgave this person for a few things, or I forgave them last year, but you know, they did something else, so I need to forgive them for that. Like, it's not a multiple thing of forgiveness. It's just once and one time only. And it's across the board, you know, for everybody.
Yep.
But I'm ranting at this point.
You're good. I mean, it's valid. I mean, like I said, I mean, for me personally, I know, like when you said it, it flipped the switch. I mean, I don't know. Holly Combustible. Shout out to my man Holly Combustible. If you haven't checked out Kelvin J, make sure that you do. What up, Holly? Let's see.
Holly Combustibles.
Way back. Let's see. Washington, D.C. in the house. Yes, sir. Totally love the song and agree. First crutch to life should always be God. Yes, it should.
Your first crutch to life should always be God. Interesting.
Agree. God needs to be what we leaning on. Christopher Cunningham. What up? Welcome to the stream. I'm sure you've been here for a minute now. But I think in heaven and hell, rewards and punishment will be different. Romans 2 said God will reward according to works. I think God will reward according to works, but I mean, I think that's talking about the additional rewards you get in heaven. I don't
like stuff like that. I don't even care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even really dive in deep on conversations like that, because, you know, only God knows what's happening after we leave this earth. and what's most important is that, you know, we're going to forgive, and that we're turning back to God, and we're living righteous in His ways. And that's really the only thing that matters for us as humans here on this planet.
Yeah.
And heaven and hell, I mean, who knows about
Yeah.
heaven and hell? To be honest, is
Yeah.
how I see it.
Well, that's a rabbit hole. I mean, I think the Bible
Yeah, it is a rabbit hole.
is you know, intentionally probably vague on heaven and hell and stuff. He says it's not one size fits all. So I'm guessing he's saying like the personal heavens, the personal hells. I don't know if I necessarily think about that, because I mean, I think, you know, we all gonna have a reunion.
At that point, now we're getting caught in our thoughts. You know, when the Bible asks us to bring our thoughts into captivity, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, like you said, you start to go down a rabbit hole of like, oh, like, you know, heaven's going to be this and that for this person and this. We don't know what heaven is going to be or what it is. You know, the Bible says heaven is everything above us. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But your words.
So, I mean, you know, I can get in the airplane right now and I'll be flying to heaven.
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
Yep.
You know, it's different ways of looking at all that. So what's most important is saving our souls. Right.
Tater got a good one right there. Your works won't just get you in. Nah, I agree. I mean, there is one path. I mean, the Bible tells us there's one path right out the gate that gets us into heaven. I mean, that is faith in your heart, belief in your heart, confession with your mouth, repentance of your sins, so on and so forth. But I mean, you know, we do have to understand, I think, to a certain extent, you know, when we're talking about repenting of our sins, you know, a lot of people don't understand repentance, and a lot of people use, you know, works aren't going to get you into heaven as an easy out. You know, you got to understand too, like, works aren't going to get you in, but you aren't going to repent for your sins unless you're putting in some work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't truly repent unless you really putting in some work. Because sin is easy. I mean, sin is tempting. Sin is where you're coming from. Repentance is that true change of heart where you hate that sin, where you turn away from that sin. Let's see. Romans 8:38 through 39 says, Paul says death does not cast us away from Christ. I'm not sure what that threw in.
But just off of reading that, you know, obviously what's been revealed to me is that, you know, death of the flesh, and if your spirit is connected with Christ, then you're not going to be casted away if the flesh dies. Yeah. So my first reaction to that scripture would be that, but obviously I would have to read the whole entire chapter as a whole. But
yeah. And then we got that fear of dying. Once saved is gone, passed from death to life. I think this was back when we were talking about that fear of dying. And you know, I'll say, I think there is a comfort. There's definitely a comfort in salvation. And you know, I do want to clarify, because I was talking about, you know, those thoughts of, you know, what happens to my wife, what happens to my kid and everything. That doesn't override like the feelings of faith. You know, that doesn't override, you know, my confidence in Christ, my belief in my salvation. None of that. When I talk about like, you know, those thoughts and everything, you know, very much I brought that example up to kind of talk about one of those things that Satan uses to really pull you and make you afraid. Like, but no, I mean, you know, I have no fear of going. I have no fear. You know, I'm sure my wife has no fear of going, because at the end of the day, what waits on the other side is better than what is here. Right. It's just that comfort.
And then it's just the fear, like you say, you know, the fear is what's evil. That fear of fearing dying. You know what I mean? It causes people to I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's where I was going. I mean, I think it is natural while we're in the flesh to have that fear. I mean, naturally, we're going to have that fear. Satan's going to get.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that fear of the flesh is like it's a way of like the devil tempting you of loving the world, you know. And you know, our flesh is in the world, is of the world, you know, and we're to be, you know, of God. So, you know, the more you have that fear of dying in the flesh is just only showing the love that you have for this world, you know, and that comes into the situations where people lose kids, you know, whether their kids died in a tragic accident or something, or, you know, just different situations like that. You know, a lot of people are torn up to shreds by it. because they love the world, more than they love God.
Yeah.
Whereas if you if you love God, straight in, straight out, those type of situations aren't going to tear you up as it would someone who doesn't.
Yep. Gabe said a while back, this convo came up with my wife and I. This is definitely what I need to be hearing right now. I know that's a little bit dated. I'm pretty sure we were talking about that a few minutes ago when you said that. But I mean, the thing is, like, and this is what I always look at. God puts everything in our path for a reason. There's a reason we're sitting here right now on a Friday not talking about this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And whoever it's touching for whatever reason. I mean, like I said, Kelvin took me off a minute ago. Kelvin threw something out, and like when I thought about it, I'm like, I mean, that was something I needed to hear.
Yeah, just
But
call up mom and dad and be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna swing by around 6. I'm just gonna pull up on you real quick and just want to talk to you about something real quick."
yeah,
Just go and get that off your chest. You gonna do that tomorrow?
tomorrow I'm actually booked for a show, so I don't know if I'm going to do that tomorrow. But
What
yeah, I
about
mean,
tonight?
God bless my wife. My mom's in bed right now, man.
What about on Sunday?
I might call her. You know what? I might call her, or Sunday after church, I might swing by.
Yeah, you should go. Your parents are alive and they're close by, man. You should just go in person. You'll see them face to face. Look them dead in their eyes.
They're about an hour and a half away, but they close-ish.
Yeah, that's close enough. I'm telling you, it's more powerful when you do it face to face.
Yeah, I feel that.
The Bible says go and forgive, not call and forgive.
yeah. Don't call on the phone, right?
Don't Wi-Fi and forgive. No, but I mean, if you had no choice but to do it, that way, then that's the only choice you have. But since you're blessed to have both your parents still walking the earth, you're blessed to have them within 2 hours range.
Yeah.
You can face them face to face and
yeah.
And if you truly mean it, man, and remove that resentment and understand that, the same way you have, you got kids now, right?
Yeah.
So, your kids, whatever you and your wife may have done unrighteous throughout their upbringing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sitting there as a father in your pop chair, you would be hoping that, your son just walks up to you and forgives you one day and just understands that you just made some bad decisions that you couldn't help. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's all it takes is not, and you wouldn't want your kids to hold that on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless of what they say, the decisions you made throughout life, why you made them, for whatever reason, that in your heart, you wanted it to be the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, just understanding that I want my kids to be able to come and truly forgive me and not hold any resentment towards me because, I had sex out of wedlock when I had them.
Yep.
Imagine if my son hated me because of that. It would be unfortunate,
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forgive your mama and your daddy.
Man, it's supposed to be an interview, not you coming out on me. Come on now.
What happened?
I was just kidding. I said this is supposed to be an interview.
Hey man, when I see that door slid open,
yeah,
it says a lot, man.
No, I feel you 100%. And honestly, like true to heart, I appreciate it. Like I mean,
all I have is God's love, man. It's the same way I love you is the same way I love Chris and Million Mile Club and Jason J and Highly Combustible Reacts. I'm gonna tell all y'all the same exact love equally. You know what I mean?
I think that says a ton about your character too. I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, that's why I've been rocking with you since I found you. Like, I mean, you're a real dude. Like every time we've had a chance to speak, and I will say, like, we've even had the chance to speak offline. We spoke at length for one night, and I mean, we were just going through, spitballing, literally just talking about going through scripture. I mean, talking about different thoughts on things and everything. And I appreciate your character. Like, you've got like such a solid tone of character. Like the music's good and everything. Obviously, that's like how we came in contact with each other and everything. But I mean, the tone of your character is just it's so much louder even, than the music. Like the music takes a backdrop to who you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like if that makes sense.
Some awesome words, man. It's nice to hear that, man. I'm just me being me, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. I really do.
I'm just a guy walking with feet.
Let's see. Not saved by works. Yep. Let's see. Let's get down. I know we got some questions down through here. I'm way behind. Somebody. Holly was already calling me out a minute ago about being way behind. Let's see. As my dad would say, God will always give you what? Maybe
highly combustible. I see your love and raise you some respect. I'm gonna go ahead and call that one.
Yeah. Our religions say we are saved by works, and what we do, Bible says we are saved by what Christ has done. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I mean, can't highlight that enough in my mind. Oh, this was back. God bless. We are behind. Like, this was back when we were talking about thumbnails. Come on now. I gotta speed this up.
Photopia.
Yeah. Not another Faz Friday. Nah, we ain't gaming tonight. We hanging out. Let's see. Kelvin is truly preaching to me while I'm driving. Thanks, man. Look at that. See that, man?
Hey, man. You gotta reach somebody.
That's what I'm telling you, man. We never know why we're here doing what we're doing. Christ forgave us all the example. Yep. Also, what up, rednecks? I didn't say hey to you when you jumped in. Dan said, "Deep, you're a better person than me." I think he's telling you learn, though. I think he gave us a lesson right there. I mean, hey. Also, what up,
man? There's so many people who, they still hold that resentment, man. And I'm telling you that part is it disconnects you from God like no other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The God from within, you know. Yep. And not just being a Bible thumper, just following the Bible and quoting out quotes and things.
Yep. Kelvin got the chat going against me now.
You gotta have those combos with your folks.
Let's see. We're talking about fake. Were we talking about fake? There are a lot of fake Christians, man. There's a lot of snakes out there for real.
They don't say they are out there.
They are. Let's see. Welcome back, Holly. You're way, way, way back. Yeah. Let's see. All right, I think we're caught up. Like, I don't see any other questions. So, what do you think, Kelvin? God,
the HIV getting to you, huh?
COVID's coming out, man. Like, I've been trying to save this voice because tomorrow, like, I got to be going out and bumping it up with that DJ thing. You know, like stereotypical DJ, right? Like,
yeah.
This is that grind right there. Like, this is one ear on, you know, and you go in with the wave and everything. Yo, what up? I'm DJ AlphaTyler in the house, baby.
That's going to be you tomorrow night, man.
No, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
What up, though? It's your boy Kelvin J. DJ Kelvin J's on the track. We got some smooth jams tonight.
Oh, you one of them laid back dudes. See, I'm hopping it up like the whole time, man. Like I'm not going out like that, but like I'm going out. I'm hopping it up, man. I can't stand because inevitably, no matter what, you start seeing people that are wanting to like hug on each other and stuff like that, and like they're wanting that slow piece, you know. And I'm like, Like I don't. Every time that comes,
everybody get your 6 feet distance.
Yeah. Social distancing is in effect right now. So normally, like after we get a chance to talk for a little bit and everything, I like to open it up, let some people jump in, ask some questions if they have some questions. You good with people jumping in?
Yeah, okay.
All right, because I know we're hitting at about 1:45 right now, so I don't know how quick
like
you can go.
Another 30 minutes or so.
All right, sounds good. So if anybody wants to jump in and ask some questions, I'm gonna try and keep it small because every time like I open up and let like 30 people in at one time, like it just goes out of control and we stop talking about what we're actually talking about and just start talking about.
We're talking about how the banana prices are going up at the local market.
Yeah, we start talking about banana prices and all that stuff. But
well, you know they got the green bananas coming out now, those new ones.
Listen, the green, like the plantains and stuff. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
I always buy the green bananas though. Like I let them sit for a couple of days until they ripen. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I was just proving the point of how easy it is to steer off the conversation.
Yeah. So with this, like where we going with this and everything, I'm gonna let one person hop in, ask their question, hop out. So if you guys are showing up in the queue, which I know we got some people up in the queue right now, definitely hang out. Wait, I'm gonna pop you in when you get up. First come, first serve, all that, and I'm gonna pop you back out. We're gonna keep going like that. I see Gabe got a question down there asking how the writing process. Gabe, are you able to jump into the stream and ask your question? Because I know you said you were driving a second ago. So if you're not able to, I'll ask your question for you. But if you're able to, just pop in and we'll get to it in a second. But we got Tater up first. What up, Tater?
Aloha.
Aloha, Tater Monkey. What's up?
Nothing. Hey, and no hate on that 420. I totally get what you were talking about. I totally understand, but I'm still going to be an advocate for the 420. So,
I mean,
my
I'm
question
an
is more
advocate for.
cultural.
Oh, go ahead.
So no, that's good because I do. I mean, our purpose is really medical. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that's neither here nor there. But mine is more cultural. So I had this experience yesterday, and how I know that you can't change their mind. Hold on, Jonathan. Hold on, Jonathan. Oh my God. Okay. I see that you can't. Sorry, my grandkid just almost literally got ran over because his uncle was not paying attention. So Jesus. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, about 6 weeks ago, when Adam Calhoun shared his Pressure album or whatever, I tagged some people from my small town on the video Small Town. I don't even know who this dude was. It was a friend of a friend of a friend, I guess. I don't know. And he immediately, basically, his thing was white people should not be cultural appropriating rap because black people invented it and we hate black people anyway. So how dare we rap the music by the people we hate?
Yeah.
So how do I constructively try to have the conversation with him?
And this is a black guy you're talking to?
Yes, he's an older black dude.
And you're saying
I don't
how
even
can
know
you
who
go
he
about
is.
approaching that topic? I mean, I would, the love of God is the truth. The love is the truth. So I would
Right.
just approach it calmly and truthfully, and if you see his anger levels start to outrage or go to a level that you feel yourself, you can't handle, whether if he's getting violent physically or just too obnoxious, you don't want to deal with it. When you see that start to happen, just ease your way out of the conversation. That's
Which
what
I
I
mean,
do anyway. You said what?
no, that's kind of what I did. Is I immediately said I'm not even going to waste my energy because out of the gate it was like I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it. But I'm like, it's not just black people that invented telling story music. I mean, Hawaiians done it. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
Even
as
today,
far as
country music
cadence.
today, if you want to take the the top genre of the country field or rock, it still has poetry. A lot of it still has poetry in it. It's just delivered in a different format. So I mean, humans have been rhyming and humming and harmonizing for years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it cultural appropriation? Do you think that I mean, just be honest. I don't think it is, but it's like,
I mean,
is it
me
appropriating
personally,
if you're actually appreciating the art?
yeah, like me personally, I think all that stuff's silly. I mean, if something's works and you like it, you should be able to partake in it. I should be able to, you know, wear a samurai outfit in pride because I like samurais. I shouldn't have to actually have grown up around samurais to be able to embrace that culture or whatever they do. Same with food and everything. You're telling me I can't eat food from Africa because I'm not African or from Africa? That just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't think it's any problem with people getting involved in different stuff, especially when it comes to music. I mean, there's a lot of amazing white rappers, the same way there's a lot of good black rappers. And there's a lot of white rappers who are actually a lot way better than a lot of the most famous black rappers. So none of that stuff, matters. But yeah, I would just be honest with the truth.
I think an important thing in that too. I mean, the dude that commented that clearly has some kind of hate in his heart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like me and Kelvin were talking earlier. This conversation doesn't sound different if he's a white dude or if I'm a black dude or whatever combination you want to mix it up. Because I mean, once you get to the point where you're genuinely not looking for a reason to discriminate, where you're genuinely looking at people as equal, you're not looking for those distinctions because none of that stuff matters.
Right. Right. And that goes for age, it goes for sex, man and woman, a 20-year-old and a 60-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
Your grandma compared to your son, whoever, the love of God is equal across the board. So the same way I talk to my, 80-year-old grandma, I talk the same way to a 14-year-old kid, If I need to check her, my 80-year-old grandma, and tell her what's up, I'm gonna check her and I'm gonna tell her what's up. You know what I mean? Because that's what love is.
That's valid, man.
And as a white woman, I mean, it's just always where you want to, I guess, have the validation is like, because I don't want to be racist. And that's one reason why I found the reaction channels is because I wanted the black take on socially motivated, I mean, and politically motivated things.
Exist. I don't even believe in racism. When it comes to the term racism, I believe in that falls under dominantly good and evil because it's a stigma that's designed upon a skin color, something that people can't necessarily change. And then when you start to target different evil actions towards a skin color, it becomes broadcasted towards everybody with that skin color. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden now you have racism, right? So I mean, as long as if you're doing what's right and you're loving people equally, and that's what it is. I mean, you can't be racist. If you're not hating someone.
That's a fact.
Right.
Nowadays, you're racist for anything.
And I pretty much try to. I mean, I try to give the aloha but sometimes it's hard. But I'm just saying, in the climate these days, it's just really hard of just making sure, like, I don't want to be that. So I got to make sure that I'm not the only, because if I'm just listening to white folks, like, say that I'm not, and that's the only reason kind of why I started the looking at reaction videos is just trying to figure out, like, am I the only one that believes this way?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But keep up, and I'm glad I found them, because if I didn't do reaction videos or reaction channels, like people like Bryson and you and Tyson, and I mean just everybody, I would not know, because I listen to island music, so I would not even know who y'all were.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, like me, I'm blunt. Like I'm so, like I'm willing to take it to the grave with my bluntness of truth. So me, I just put it out there.
Thank you.
I mean, you said what?
Oh, I just said thank you, aloha, and I'll get back in chat.
Well, God bless.
Appreciate you, Tater. Hey, I'm gonna say it one more time because Gabe went away. I think after he asked this question, Gabe does have a really good question, but I don't want to steal his thunder. Gabe, if you're able to jump up in. If not, I'll ask your question for you after we get through these. Also, what up, Jekyll? Jekyll says, what up? How you doing tonight, everyone? Sup, Alpha? Man, I'm doing fantastic. Me and Kelvin been having this dope conversation, going through a ton of topics. John says Gabe got a good question too. Oh, he does have a good question. What up, Chris? How you doing, brother?
What up, though?
In the building. What up, though?
What up, though? How's your boy, man?
My ex son.
No, how you doing? Like literally.
I'm alive, man. I'm blessed, man. Like I can't complain. Fighting the struggles of financial hardship.
Yeah.
Taking things day by day and just seeing where God takes me. Really.
You are. I gotta say, absolutely hi to AlphaTyler first, but I talk to him like twice a week. So you are looking healthier, bro. Kelvin.
You think so? Looking a little oily.
No, I mean that ain't nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. You're looking like happier. So anyway, I just want to say I love the new song Jesus Saves. Your verses were dope. Tyson always is a good thing. What is your plans like before MAGA rap came out, right? Tyson was rapping about like strange fire, Jesus, like he was on his Jesus grind, right?
Right.
Then Trump came along and he was saying, or not he, but like a lot of guys came into the picture, like Topher, a lot of guys came into the scene, you guys, MAGA boys, right? Got a rapped Forgaccio blow, what, you know, however you want to say his name.
Forgiato.
Forgiato. Okay. Rocky, all those people, like you got wrapped around like we're gonna support Trump. Now that they supposedly won an election, and it's really not a MAGA like that. You think the MAGA movement died, or
No, I think I mean obviously the overall vibe is lower because you don't have Trump going around doing big old MAGA rallies everywhere.
exactly? So
But I wouldn't say it's died completely. I mean, Biden's I don't know what you want to call it, stupidity or whatever. But whatever Biden's going through, he's putting the MAGA rap community in a position to still have stuff to talk about if they want to speak on the political side of things. And the fight is still going because Trump it's not like he was just doing something that was just some political stuff. He like basically opened the gates of hell as far as those doors over your eyes, you know what I mean? And he woke up a lot of people to the evil that was going on. And he caused a lot of evil people to just willingly expose themselves without them even knowing that they're exposing themselves. I mean, his movement has been such a big impact. And, that was just one piece of the battle, of the spiritual war that, we're fighting each day. So I definitely see it continuing to go on strong. Like with Bryson bringing it in the heavy ranks as the GOAT of the MAGA rap community.
yeah,
And even like you said with Forgiato, he was further from God, you know what I mean? But now with him being closer around more godly type people, that's been a good look on his life. I don't know if you've seen his past music or anything compared to the music he does now. But so people are changing in a positive way to push a different positive message, and we're all coming together as one big spiritual family.
yeah, no doubt. You're bringing a lot of us together. You're bringing more people than you know. I have not listened to any kind of Christian music. I was not even considering giving my self up to Christ, and I was not even considering it. But then I started hearing you guys, and yeah, like so, yeah, I can see how that could rub off on somebody. Anyway, man, I just want to say hi. It's cool seeing you on Tyler's channel. So
Yeah, man. Thanks for the link and everything.
yeah, no, thanks for getting on with me and Tyler that one time, and man, you're killing it. Keep it up, and
I'm trying.
no, man, don't get discouraged with anything, man. Like, and I'll be promoting your music.
I appreciate all the love, man.
Yes, sir. All right, that's it. Tyler, peace out. Kelvin, peace out.
Same to you, brother. Appreciate
God
you.
bless.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So Jekyll jumped up in. Jekyll said, nice to meet you, Kelvin. Jekyll also making some dope music. Make sure everybody in the chat, if you guys haven't hit up Jekyll Music, Jekyll Reacts. I think those are his two channels. Make sure you go check them out. Jekyll also threw one out there. He said, I don't know if you know, he said he has a long day tomorrow. Don't know if you know who Lipsy is, but her husband beat the crap out of her. Agrees. Needing help raising money so she can take her son and move out. Help with attorney fees and stuff like that. So I'm going to be live pretty much all day doing reactions for donations that will 100% go to her to help her out. You guys, I will not be live tomorrow at all. Well, maybe for like a minute, but like if you guys have the free time tomorrow, make sure you guys stop by Jekyll's channel, help out with that. And also Jekyll, I won't be able to stop by tomorrow, but is your PayPal, can you DM me your PayPal link or something like that, just in case somebody can't make it by, wants to drop like something toward that and stuff? Because real talk, if we're talking about legal fees, somebody like I ain't about the domestic violence and stuff like that. Like, let me plug something out there for anybody that can't stop by in case they want to donate earlier or something like that. Kelvin, I love your content, your beats. I love how you use your freedom of speech like you do. Love it.
I appreciate that, Jekyll.
Jekyll's dope, man. Jekyll's a veteran too, putting out a bunch of stuff, promoting a bunch of independent artists and stuff like that, man. So if you guys, I don't know, you guys might end up hooking up or something at some point, for a collab or something. Who knows?
God wills amazing things.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna go ahead. I haven't seen Gabe say anything else. I'm gonna go ahead and ask his question a little while back. He asked, how does the writing process work for you? So what do you go through when you're writing? Because especially, sticking pretty strictly to that certain concepts and stuff like that. Like a lot of times, I know a lot of artists and stuff like that when they're kind of in that wheelhouse, which you were talking a little bit earlier, about never wanting it to be fake or something like that. And so, I know like you want the art to speak for itself, but I also know, you have a pretty specific message, you got values and everything that you're promoting. So what does your writing process look like? How does it work for you?
It's pretty simple and straightforward. I just, I turn on the beat, feel the vibe, and whatever starts coming to my head, I write it down. I harmonize it, I'll see what flows, yeah. And then we kind of just go from there. Yeah, that's it, really.
I feel that.
I go with the metaphoric storytelling type of lyrics, kind of just write whatever works for me, but a lot of my lyrics tend to be more metaphoric.
Yeah.
Even I forget what some of my metaphors mean. Sometimes I have to listen to it again sometimes. I'm like, what am I even talking about?
Right. I feel that. Highly combustible ass. Also, if anybody wants to jump in the stream, I know y'all popping some questions down in the chat. If y'all want to jump in, we jumping in. The link is pinned in the chat. If you guys want to jump in and ask yourself for a minute, highly combustible. I want to ask the same question I asked a modern Renaissance man. How much hate does Kelvin get for that fire hat?
I don't really get any hate. On social media, I got a little hate more so from like my MAGA hats. That was more so when it first was like a big thing. But now, I wear my MAGA hats. I wear all my hats like everywhere, anywhere. You know, and no one bothers me or looks at me weird or anything.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
I call that black privilege.
Yeah,
give it a name.
Everybody afraid to say something about it. Nobody wants to point out that you're wearing a hat that says
right.
Right? Yeah.
Let it be a white person at the grocery store with a red MAGA hat. They'd be try to start something. If you look like you could be, started with.
I kind of want to test it one day. Not with the MAGA hat so much, but I want to wear Uncle Tom hat out and see what people would think if I was wearing an Uncle Tom hat in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, just see where that goes. Like what y'all think?
Sometimes you gotta let go and let live. You know what I mean? Just go out and live.
Oh man. Jekyll says I got a question for him. May have covered it. I can't pop in right now. How much blowback did y'all get for speaking the truth and pushing MAGA?
You always get people pushing back, man. But me, I just don't care. Like I say a lot of things that are towards women, which a lot of people take as me being narcissistic, or people call me a misogynist and all this extra stuff. But all the stuff that I do say about women and men, as far as men being the leaders, and men are being designed by God to lead women.
Yeah.
But it's all love. I have the balls to say that because I love you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if I didn't say that, and if I knew it, if I knew it within my heart that I need to say it and I need to tell you, but I don't, then I don't love you at all. I'm just walking earth hating you,
Yeah.
and not loving anybody. But real love and true love is giving that to all people.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like that's one thing. I mean, like, my wife has had the conversation, even other women like coming to my wife sometimes in the past, because like my wife has had the conversation with people saying like, she wants to be a housewife. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, like a child raiser, you know what I'm saying? Like the
great.
traditional view and everything. And like she's had women like come at her questioning that piece and everything, because they're like, I mean, you're not getting out and promoting women or something like that. And she's like, I mean, there's not a problem having a traditional role. Like, how are you going to push somebody and say like you can't have that traditional role because we're trying to get to these progressive views of men and women? You know what I'm saying? Like that's garbage.
And you gotta have those roles, man. It's just how it is. It's not like as a man, for example, we're cursed, with the curse of work and labor.
Yeah.
It's not like I wake up thrilled about my curse. You know what I'm saying? I'm not waking up every morning like, woohoo, yeah, I'm a man. I get to go work and bust my butt and I take on all the hardships to provide for my family. This is just such an exciting, amazing thing every day. I'm not like thrilled about it like that. And it's the same for a woman. Some women may not be thrilled about their curse, and their curse is child labor. You know what I mean? They got that stick. You know what I mean? They get that short stick of giving birth, bleeding every month, a 9-month suffering to give out, to squeeze out pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's their curse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you have to respect your curse and love your curse and just accept that's what it is, and everything just balances out. Everything balances out.
Well, I think the thing behind that, I mean, we're so caught up in trying to get past like traditional values and traditional roles and stuff. Like, we don't stop and think like there is a purpose in that. My frame, like physically, your frame physically, like we are made to do things that women can't do, like to take on burdens that women can't take on. Like it's going back, a few years ago, looking at the military when they were talking about should women be able to go to Ranger school in the Army and stuff. And it's like the first class of women, like they came out of the class like disabled. You know what I'm saying? Like they came out of the class literally injured trying to go through those things that men are going through in Ranger school. And it's like, you can't, the most physically fit woman is still gonna, like, yeah, don't get me wrong, like a world-class athlete female is gonna be stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not denying that.
Right. There's right. Physicalness, there's definitely, you could probably count out 1 million women on this planet easy.
Yeah.
That's far more physically strength, like has more physical strength than me. Definitely.
Yeah. But I'm saying like we're talking about averages. We're talking about what somebody is inherently built to do, what the average person is going to be, able to achieve. And I'm sorry, but a female who puts in an equal amount of work to like strength training and stuff like that as a male, like the man is eventually going to surpass and be stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I mean, the body is naturally composed a certain way, and you can't argue that.
And not even necessarily just the physical aspects, but even if you're just looking at the sense of the spiritual side of it, like I said earlier with the order of life, the love of God connects to the man at a far easier rate. I'm not saying it's impossible for a woman to connect with God and be able to, raise kids in a righteous manner, things like that. But it's extremely rare, extremely, extremely rare for a woman to be able to do that without a man guiding her, whether if it was her earthly father who she was born with, who guided her as a daughter and raised her, or, her new husband that she meets who leads her. But
yeah,
you have to have that order is very, very important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think there are statistics that show like the amount of godly homes that start with a woman going to church first versus a man going to church first, and like which one brings the rest of the household closer. And I mean, it pretty staggeringly tips to, if the man of the house goes to the church first, finds God, and brings his family, like that usually results in the whole family becoming active members in the church, versus the female going first and trying to bring the rest of the family. Like, it doesn't happen as often.
Right. I agree with that definitely, because I mean, I agree with that. You know, it's important for the man to draw the woman unto his light.
Yeah.
And it's not to put women down and make it sound like women are just these, helpless creatures or anything. But it's just, if you can see reality and you can see how human nature works, and if God has awakened you and reveals to you, you can see it. It's so clear.
Yeah.
That, man was like, man, we're created in God's image, and women come from us, So it just kind of connects. What we got here? Fisherman Gabe.
What up, Gabe?
Looks like he's driving.
He's mute. He left.
He's like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be on. Hold on.
He's like, nah, I just wanted to pop in for a second. Like, I'm good now.
Oh man.
Taylor said, as a proud, strong, independent woman, I agree. The man is the head of the house. I'm the neck that moves.
No, Taylor Monkey. No. The husband is the head of the wife. Christ is the head of him, not the head of the household. You're not the neck. What's she saying? As a proud, strong, independent woman, I agree. The man is the head of the house. No, the man is the head of the wife. It says, I'm the neck that moves the head. Yes or no? No. If you're the neck that's moving the head, there's a huge problem going on in this marriage, and we should get to the bottom of it.
Kelvin.
No hate to her, Tyler. My daughter is the same.
Yeah, she's talking about my wife. She's a
mom. People look at
her like she's lazy.
That's the right way to do it, man. You can't possibly, and this is a shot at Tater if she's in this situation, or anyone's in this situation. But you can't possibly love your kids and willingly send them to public schools instead of being a stay-at-home parent.
I like how Kelvin pointed out too up front. He's like, this is a shot to anybody in this situation. He's like, no.
I know most people send their kids to public school. You know what I'm saying? Most people send their kids to public school, and especially in today's society, God didn't design us, our species, to send our kids to some random people to raise them off in some school somewhere.
Well, it's communism, man. Like it's you got the school for education, you got the police for an authority figure, you got the parents to like house.
The police are needed. The school system, you don't have to have that.
I'm not saying they're not needed. I'm saying our society wants us to, parents don't discipline, the police discipline. Parents don't educate, schools educate. Like our society, and our society is geared. It's communism. It really is. It's the community raising a child. Like, everybody's got their piece. A village shouldn't be raising a child. Like that old phrase.
A small community should be raising a child. You know what I mean? Like, I agree. And my local neighbors. You know what I'm saying? My grandma. Susie down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like the small local community.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. But the scale that we have it today, no.
No, but and that's what
have the government raising people now.
That's what I'm throwing out. I'm saying like parents don't have accountability for their children today. They just feed and raise them. Like they feed and shelter them. They don't educate them. They don't discipline them. None of that. Like, it's taken away. And it's like I believe it was in that song in Jesus Saves. Like, it was talking about, like, we worrying about CPS being called. You know what I'm saying? Like what, you afraid to discipline your kids, or CPS is going to be called?
Yeah, well, In the song, it was referring to because she was doing drugs and stuff.
Well, right.
But definitely, yeah, like you shouldn't be afraid to discipline. But see, here's the thing with that though, because if, and this is just my opinion, a lot of people see this differently, but for me, and what's revealed to me is that you don't have to, physically harm your kids to discipline them. You know what I mean? In a sense of like beating them, whooping them with belts, or whipping them with sticks, or anything like that. I'm a strong believer that you can raise righteous kids from birth with strong discipline, strong punishment tactics, but you don't have to actually physically hit them. And if you're living your life in that sense, you would never have to worry about the laws of the land interfering with that, because when I'm punishing my son or my daughter, I don't have to worry about the cops showing up anyway, because it's not like I'm beating them. You know what I mean? Compared to a lot of people, tend to whoop their kids and stuff like that.
Well, I won't lie. I spanked my daughter, but I mean, like when I say I spanked my daughter, I mean like I spanked my daughter, like and I mean, yeah, she throws a fit over it, like you would think that she has just been deleted, but like I mean, like it's, to me, I mean, it's just the thing. That's just that thing that gets her attention. Like that's not the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like she hears my voice and she'll hear me say no, and she looks like it's a snap thing. Like with or without that, like that's the thing that gets her attention sometimes. Yeah, but it's really, it's the voice, it's the tone, it's me saying no. Like she understands when I say no, like don't do that. It's like we were having dinner earlier and she wanted to climb up on the table and she climbed around and everything, but they started bringing the food out and everything, and so she started like trying to get up with the food, and I said no, and she looked at me, and it was like as soon as I said no, she looked at me like, we gonna play this? And then she sat back. You know what I'm saying though? So like I agree.
It's all about that being firm, man.
Yeah.
The love of God is firm, and that's where a lot of people, slack off, especially at younger ages. So many people get caught up in that earthly love and that what I like to call it, the godless love. But get caught up in their emotions and their feelings, and oh, I don't want to be too hard, or I don't want to be this. The next thing you know, they're 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, and they're doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And people, oh, they're just a kid, they'll grow out of it. Like really be on them at the young age, so they'll grow up thinking that's normal. They'll grow up thinking to act right is normal, versus it being like this, like you're trying to push acting right on them between the ages of 6 and 12. Like, what is this acting right? I just want to act a fool,
Yep.
But
I feel that. So I think because we were out at 30 minutes from when you told me you had 30 minutes left. So I think you probably about wrapped up with us. I'm
actually on my phone now, going through like so many different. I'm about to head out, go handle some business real quick.
Let me see here. Gabe been trying to connect this thing all night. Hey,
Gabe.
Sorry guys, I just got home, so I finally got service. But
yeah.
Hey, no, I kind of wanted to follow up on a little bit of the album thing, but also just kind of mentioned lately I've been kind of going through my own, I guess you can call it, search for what my answer is for God and everything. I've had this talk with Tyler about spirituality, and that's where I kind of lean instead of religion. But I've been having a lot of people challenge me lately with my mindset and how I approach my beliefs. And all I can say is this chat that you had with Tyler tonight definitely helped me out in a lot of things. One being death, the other one being just to understand, the mindset that you have on the conversation you guys had with man and woman and all that. It kind of puts a lot into perspective of how I'm approaching my relationship and how I can fix it. Just with those what you said right there. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, man, hit me up on Facebook. Hit me on my inbox on Facebook, Kelvin Johnson, and I'm more than willing to help talk to you about your relationship if you want any advice from little old me.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not no like therapy advice or anything like that. I think it's just more me figuring out my way and being that the provider and the man that I need to look at myself as and all that. Just that kind of mindset, without having God there, from what I'm hearing, it kind of takes that strength away. And like I said,
It's a
people
big
challenge me with
difference.
that. Yeah, so
Big
I
difference.
appreciate that. But on the sense of the album, or just writing in general, I was kind of just kind of wondering, like, with your mindset on the, I don't really focus on the MAGA part, but like the Christian rap and all that, the writing process, how do you do that? Like, is it more you pick topics and write about it, and approach it through the eyes of like how you see religion, or is it more just whatever flows out of you? Do you pick the beat first? Do you have the words written? Do you have like a notebook full of songs? Like, how does that process work for you? Is it just you write, you produce it, you release it, and you just kind of go as it comes?
It's definitely more so just comes as it go. I don't write, like, I don't have a notepad with a whole bunch of lyrics in it like some people do. I normally write. I like to create, on the spot. Like, for example, the music that we're going to be doing for the Uncle Tom 2. I'm hoping for that. I don't know how it's going to play out yet, but hopefully, I'm hoping we can just show up in Texas and we all meet up in Texas. And I like to just be in the studio and just make it. Sometimes I like to freestyle on the mic and just play around with my vocals and just see what sounds good. You just never know. You get in there, have some fun. If you want to do a, you just want to
Yeah,
loop it or something. It may sound silly now, but you put it on the mic and you fix it up, and
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you got a hit. You know what I mean? You never
you just
know.
kind of go
So,
with the vibe, let it all come out.
right. So I just freestyle. I write after I hear the beat. I don't write before. That's pretty much it, really. And I
Oh,
go
that's pretty
off of what's revealed to me. I go off my heart. I go off of Bible scripture. You know, but every scripture that I've read, I take it if it's revealed to me as well. Like, I have to see it from within. I don't just read a book and just because I read a book, I just, oh, that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess that kind of leads me into the final question I would have is, you spoke about how like you used to rap, and then when you found God, you rap different now. That process of you finding God, how would you describe that process? Like, because like I said, right now I guess you would say I'm in that stage where the search is parked. I'm looking for the right answer for myself. I've always passed with a certain answer that everybody just, okay, cool, that's nice, but I was never challenged. So now the answer is out there for me that I'm looking for. But when you went through that process, how would you say the process was for you? Because I feel like me, it's more I'm looking too hard. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, most people, like I was telling Alpha, a lot of people are disconnected from God because they don't love their fathers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
when you
And
said
you
that, that
have
hit me pretty
to.
hard too.
You said what?
When you had mentioned that earlier, that kind of dawned on me a little bit too. I was like, oh wow, maybe I do have some things to
Yeah, I
revert back
mean
to.
that hits home for most people, especially in today's society, because so many people are raised out of wedlock, and a lot of people are raised with single mothers, especially in the black community. It's very dominant in the black community. But the key thing is just getting to know yourself and understanding that you yourself can't control certain things. You know what I mean? So say for example, you were hanging out with your friend at 17 years old, and you started smoking cigarettes, and now you got addicted to these cigarettes, and that could say if it could be coke, it could be weed, or whatever it is. It could be sex, it can be fattening foods, whatever your situation is. But when you get addicted to it, you get to a point where you realize that you can't control it yourself. It's not like you can just wake up tomorrow and be like, okay, I see I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, I'm done doing it. Boom, that's just the end of it. For most people, we'll say, you know what? You'll look at yourself and you'll be like, man, like, it's been 10 years. I'm still smoking these cigarettes. I know tons of people in my family that died from smoking cigarettes. You know what? Tomorrow I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm fed up. And then tomorrow comes and you're still smoking cigarettes again. Did we lose them?
I think he's still there.
Oh, okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you still smoke. So it's like, even though and you want to do different, you can't help it. You know what I'm saying? It's things you can't help. And when you understand that everybody you know, unless they grew up under righteous parents and just had this amazing righteous lifestyle, which is extremely rare, you know, unless they had that, all of us are going through that. You know what I mean? Even our parents. And when we can understand that our parents are not like some savior warriors, you know what I mean? They're just regular old humans, like your homeboy and your homegirl up the street. You know what I'm saying? Like your mom and dad is that. You know, they were once 30 just like you're 30. They were once, you know, dealing with this just like you're dealing with it, whatever.
Right.
And when you truly understand that and you can put yourself in everybody else's shoes, that everybody has their vice, their weakness, then you can truly be able to forgive and face your parents and forgive them and, you know, apologize, if you will, for holding any resentment towards them for that. Because basically you're hating your parents because they're doing exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how is that right in any sense? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to hate them or hold anything against them for doing something to me of the same struggles I may have gone through or been going through?
Yeah.
So, you know, once you fully understand that, you go and forgive, and then it just happens. God will forgive you, and then it could be a blink of an eye. You know, you could wake up the next day after forgiving, and things can change. Or you can, yeah, Fisherman Gabe, definitely go back and watch this part of the video to see what I'm saying. But that's pretty much what it is. It's just, you know, coming to that understanding.
Yeah. I understand that. I mean,
And that was the biggest thing that, sorry to cut you off, Alpha, but that's the biggest thing that no one's never really, that never ever was clear to me growing up. You know, people would always say, "Oh, well, just keep praying to God, and you know, he'll show you," or like people would just shrug it off like, "Oh, just keep going to church or keep praying to God. Oh, you got to go get baptized." And none of that stuff is the truth. None of that stuff is going to make the difference of you being able to truly find God and connect with God.
yeah.
You know, the truth of it is knowing yourself and going to forgive and not holding any resentment towards anyone. And then it's like unlocking a secret little cage in your within you.
Yep. I feel that. Like I appreciate you coming on and being as open, and I know we've got some waiting right now, but I know we've also kept Kelvin over 10 minutes from when he was trying to go, and he's got some things to take care of once he hops off. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, close it out, and I'm just gonna say, man, I 100% I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate how open and honest and vulnerable you are with your beliefs. I mean, with 100%, I think Jekyll wrapped it up earlier. You know, I mean, I think it's impressive to see, you know, how willing you are to kind of use your platform to freely speak and kind of get that message across. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because I mean, where we're at today, there's not a ton of people that are willing to just come out and say what they think, what they mean, all that. And so, I mean, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad, you know, to think of you as a friend. I mean, we've never had the friendship talk. So, I mean, it's just like are you my boyfriend? Are you my girlfriend? And thing. Like, I mean, I think. But no, man, I think of you as a great friend of mine, a great friend of the channel, great artist that
Definitely.
we had up on the channel, and I always love having these conversations. I know we haven't had a ton of conversations, but I love the ones that we've had. 100%. Like I said earlier, if there was one way that I could summarize, you know, this conversation, one way that I could summarize, you know, what I see in you. I mean, I think that who you are as a man speaks a lot louder even than the music. And the music speaks pretty loud. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you stand up, and I genuinely appreciate that in my heart. And I appreciate you coming on the channel. You got anything big you want to plug besides the new music video?
Not really. Just stay tuned for the Maga Boy vinyls, and you know, make sure you're bumping that Jesus Saves, and that's it, really, that I can think of anyway. And go follow. I'm Kelvin J pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Y'all, Kelvin J should pop up.
If y'all haven't seen it, down in the description, we got a link to his main music channel. We got a link to Oyet TV, just because Oyet TV needs a little bit more love. I'm just saying, like y'all need to be stopping over there, as well as the main Kelvin J channel. He also got Kelvin J Reacts, which I did not link in the description, just because it was getting huge, and I also wanted to drop a link to the music video we were checking out, Jesus Saves. So make sure you at least hit up those 3 links, and also check out the reaction channel, because he's gonna be popping soon. He's gonna be popping, but he got bigger things than reactions going on.
But definitely, Fisherman, hit me up on Facebook so we can talk more about your relationship and whatnot. I would love to chat with you about it. I think I'm a beast at relationship advice. That's just me. That's just me. Hey, that's just me.
My wife would tell me that every man thinks that.
All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I gotta head out.
Hey, hang around for a second after we close the live real quick. I need to ask you one thing offline, but I got to pop out too, because I got to get ready for this shindig tomorrow. So appreciate y'all hanging around. Hope y'all are staying safe, taking care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already over here, as well as over on Kelvin J's channel. But I appreciate all y'all. All love, blessings going into the weekend. I'll probably scatter some reactions tomorrow night if tomorrow doesn't go the way this week has gone. And I'm sorry for anybody who I promised a reaction to this week and haven't dropped it. It's just been a crazy week. But that's all we got for Around the Music, episode 10 with my man Kelvin J. Appreciate y'all. And we'll
stand up for Jesus.
Yes, sir. We'll catch you guys next time. Where's the end button? Always gets me. Ha.